여러분 안녕하십니까? 팀 엘더입니다. 오늘 아침 2017년 6월 7일 수요일 킹스 리포트에 여러분을 환영합니다. 원래는 천일국 이대왕이신 문형진 님이 이 자리에 앉으시는데 오늘은 제가 그 대신에 앉고 있습니다. 그리고 지난주부터 시작하고 이렇게 수요일 킹스 리포트는 5시부터 6시 반까지 1시간 반은 한국말로 하고 그리고 6시 반부터 8시까지는 영어로 하기로 했습니다. 그래서 지난주는 한국 협회장이신 이상열 협회장님을 이 자리에 모셨고 오늘은 아주 특별한 게스트를 모셨습니다. 여러분께 소개해드립니다. 유너스 권사님이십니다. 또 제가 아내로 그 부인으로 부르는 사람이기도 합니다. 환영합니다. 그러면 오늘 저 날씨부터 시작하겠습니다. 인사를 하세요.
안녕하세요. 윤여수입니다. 잘 부탁드립니다.
근데 카메라를 조작하시는 분이 한국말 몰라서 카메라에 잘 비쳤는지 모르겠네요. 나중에 봐야죠. 먼저 날씨부터 시작하겠습니다. 현재 천일궁 지역의 기온은 영상 10도입니다. 흐린 날씨고요. 요새는 계속 예년보다 훨씬 쌀쌀한 날씨가 이어지고 있습니다. 원래는 한 23도, 24도가 예년의 기온인데 계속 이렇게 10도 전후 최고 기온이 한 15도, 16도 정도의 날씨가 이어지고 있고 오늘도 비가 가끔 오고 최고 기온이 16도로 머물 전망입니다. 그런데 내일하고 모레는 좀 더 따뜻해지고 모레면은 이제 예년 기온인 23, 4도 정도로 올라갑니다. 잠깐 서울의 날씨를 보니까 여러분은 영상 20도이시네요. 여기보다도 상당히 따뜻한 날씨인 것 같습니다. 그러면은 다음은 리마를 뽑도록 하겠습니다. 오늘은 제가 방송 시작하기 전에 리마를 뽑았는데 뽑은 리마가 사도행전 21장 30절에서 40절입니다. 그건 유권사님이 그것을 읽어주시겠습니다.
사도행전 21장 30절입니다. 온 성이 소동하여 백성이 달려와 모여 바울을 잡아 성전 밖으로 끌고 나가니 문들이 곧 닫히더라. 저희가 그를 죽이려 할 때에 온 예루살렘에 요란하다는 소문이 군대의 천부장에게 들리매 저가 급히 군사들과 백부장들을 거느리고 달려 내려가니 저희가 천부장과 군사들을 보고 바울 치기를 그치는지라. 이에 천부장이 가까이 가서 바울을 잡아 두 쇠사슬로 결박하라 명하고 누구며 무슨 일을 하였느냐 물으니 무리 가운데서 어떤 이는 이 말로 어떤 이는 저 말로 부르짖거늘 천부장이 소동을 인하여 그 실상을 알 수 없어 그를 영문 안으로 데려가라 명하니라. 바울이 충대에 이를 때에 무리의 포행을 인하는 군사들에게 들려가니 이는 백성의 무리가 그를 없이 하자고 외치며 따라가미러라. 바울을 데리고 영문으로 들어가려 할 그때에 바울이 천부장더러 이르되 내가 당신에게 말할 수 있느뇨? 가로되 내가 헬라 말을 아느냐? 그러면 내가 이전에 난을 일으켜 사천의 자격을 거느리고 광야로 가던 애굽인이 아니냐? 바울이 가로되 나는 유대인이라 소읍이 아닌 길리기아 다소 성의 시민이니 청컨대 백성에게 말하기를 허락하라 하니 천부장이 허락하거늘 바울이 층대 위에 서서 백성에게 손짓하여 크게 종용히 한 후에 히브리 방언으로 말하여 가로되.
네. 그리고 이제 다음 22장에는 그 바울이 자기 이제 사람들에게 나를 죽이지 마라. 나는 이런 사람이다. 이런 일을 하기 위해서 하나님이 이렇게 보내주신 분이다, 보내주신 사람이다, 이렇게 말을 합니다. 바울은 이제 기독교로 원래는 기독교를 비판하는 사람이었는데 어느 날 예수님을 영적으로 만나고 그것을 계기로 기독교로 개종하고 그 다음부터는 그 기독교의 최고의 전도사가 되신 분입니다. 살아있는 동안에 그 교회를 지중해 특히 지중해 지역, 특히 오늘의 터키 지역이라든가 그리고 그리스 로마까지 그런 지역에 많은 교회를 세우신 분입니다. 그런데 원래 자기가 기독교인들을 비판하고 있었는데 이제 기독교인이 되다 보니까 자기가 이제 비판의 대상이 된 거죠. 오늘의 오늘 읽은 리마에서도 그것을 볼 수 있습니다. 그리고 이제 전부장이 와서, 전부장이라는 것은 로마의 군대입니다. 로마의 군대. 그러니까 그때 당시 이스라엘이 예루살렘이, 이것은 예루살렘에서 있었던 사건인데 예루살렘이 로마의 통치하에 있었고 그것을 통치하는 군대, 로마 군대가 있었는데 그 로마 군대의 전부장이 와서 바울의 생명을 구할 수밖에 없는 사건이 벌어진 거죠. 유대인들이 바울을 그만큼 미워했던 것입니다. 이 사건의 계기는 뭐냐면은 바울이 유대교 사원, 유대교 교회 말하자면 교회죠. 교회, 기독교로 말하면 교회인데 교회에 들어가고 그리고 다른 이방인들, 그러니까 유대교가 아닌 사람들을 데리고 함께 유대교 사원에 들어간 것입니다. 그래서 유대인 사람들이, 거기 사람들이 우리 사원을 더럽혔다. 이것을 깨끗하지 못한 이방인들을 데리고 들어갔으니 이것은 죽을 죄를 지은 것이다. 우리가 이 사람을 잡아서 죽여야 된다. 이렇게 해서 이렇게 소동을 일으킨 것입니다. 자, 이제 왜 유대인들이 그만큼 기독교를 싫어했을까요? 그것은 기독교가 유대교보다도 힘이 강하다는 것을, 영적인 힘이 강하다는 것을 그 사람들이 역시 그 양심에서는, 그리고 본심에서는 알고 있었기 때문이 아닐까요? 오늘도 우리가 세계를 보니까 기독교를 굉장히 미워하는 사람들이 있습니다. 그리고 우리 생출 교회를 굉장히 미워하는 사람들도 있습니다. 그런 사람들이 왜냐면은 기독교가 어느 종교보다도 강하다는 것을 알고, 또 그 안에서도, 기독교 안에서도 생출 교회가 어느 교파, 어느 집단보다도 강하다는 것을 알고 있을 것입니다. 예를 들어서 지금 미국의 소위 진보라는 사람들, 그리고 좌파라는 사람들은 심지어는 가장 여성을 학대하고 인권을 유린하는 이슬람교하고 연합전선을 만들고 기독교를 공격하고 있는 상황을 볼 수 있습니다. 그러니까 기독교를 반대하기 위해서는 심지어는 이슬람교하고도 연합하는 것이죠. 이런 엉뚱한 상황을 우리가 조금 이따가 뉴스를 보면서 구체적인 사례를 보겠습니다만은, 기독교가 그만큼 무서운 것입니다. 그리고 생줄에 대해서도 그 사람들이 역시 공격을 하고 있습니다. 우리가 굉장히 뭐 비교적으로 작은 단체이고 뭐 가정연합하고 비교하면은 뭐 사람이 몇 분의 1도 안 되죠. 그리고 뭐 돈도 얼마 없습니다. 그런데도 불구하고 이렇게 생츄리를 무서워하고 생츄리의 사람을 만나지 마라, 그 내용을 듣지 마라, 이대왕님의 동영상을 보지 마라, 이렇게 신경을 쓰는 이유는 무엇일까요? 또 생츄리에 한번 갔다면은 그 모가지를 자르는 그 이유는 무엇일까요? 역시 그만큼 무서워한다는 것이고, 왜 무서워하냐 하면은 그 본심에서는 역시 생츄리의 영적인 힘이 그만큼 세고, 그리고 가정연합에 대해서는 치명적인 위협이 될 수밖에 없다라는 것을 알고 있기 때문일 것입니다. 그래서 우리가 그것을 알고 핍박을 받더라도 이 핍박은 우리의 힘의 증거다, 이렇게 생각을 하시면 좋다고 저는 생각합니다. 오늘은 그러면 오늘 리마는 사도행전 21장 바울이 끌려가고 거의 이제 예루살렘의 그 시민들한테 죽임을 당할 뻔한 장면에서 로마의 군대가 와서 그 생명을 구해준 그런 내용을 읽었습니다. 그 내용을 읽으면서 유권사님이 느낀 점이 혹시 있나요?
초창기 때
저는 알고 있어요. 그런데 뭐 육신도 사실 그죠 알고 있는데 그것을 인정하기 싫은 거죠. 그 인정하기 싫은 거죠. 뭐냐면 그것이 맞다면은 모든 것을 잊어버리니까. 그렇죠. 근데 사실은 우리가 잊어버리는 것은 사탄에 속하는 것을 잊어버리는 것이지, 하나님에게 속하는 것은 잊어버리지 않습니다. 그러니까 지금 가정연합에서 월급을 받는 사람들, 아이고 이제 목사 성직자이고 뭐 목사이고 이 자리에서 잘리면은 애들 대학 학비는 어떻게 낼까, 집세는 어떻게 낼까, 이제 사택에서 쫓겨나면은 어디로 갈까, 이런 걱정을 하는데, 사실 그런 것을 이제 과감하게 딱 치고 나오면은 또 어떻게 해서든지 하나님 편으로 사는 게 결국에는 좋지 않을까 생각합니다. 자, 이만큼 하고 일단 쉬고 잠시 후에 여러분을 다시 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 약 1분 후에 뵙도록 하겠습니다.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today. Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Carr Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Carr Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today.
안녕하십니까. 다시 인사 올리겠습니다. 2017년 6월 7일 수요일에 킹스 리포트입니다. 오늘은 5시부터 6시 반까지 한국어로 방송하고 있습니다. 이제 조금 전에 리마하고 그 날씨를 여러분께 전해드렸고, 이 시간부터는 오늘의 뉴스를 천국의 관점에서 보도록 하겠습니다. 먼저 현재 이란 테헤란에서 진행 중인 사건이 로이터 통신을 통해서 우리에게 전해지고 있는데, 그것을 먼저 여러분께 소개를 하겠습니다. 지금 로이터 통신에 따르면은 이란의 국회하고 그리고 아야톨라 호메이니의 묘를 테러리스트들이 공격하고 지금까지 최고 7명이 사망했고 여러 사람이 다쳤다는 내용입니다. 이것은 현재도 진행되고 있습니다. 그 인질을 한 4명 정도 그 국회의사당 안에서 잡고 농성하고 있다는 미확인 정보도 있습니다. 테러리스트들은 3명이고 권총, 1명은 권총을 들고 있고 2명은 AK-47 라이플총을 들고 있답니다. 지금 사진을 현지에서 로이터 통신이 전해온 사진을 여러분께 소개하고 있습니다. 이것은 국회의사당 건물이고, 여기서도 이거 창문에서 밖을 내다보는 사람은 경찰입니다. 진압을 위해서 거기에 들어간 거죠. 이것은 국회의사당 주변에 테헤란 시민들이 모여 있는 것이고요. 그리고 이것도 국회의사당 주변에 경찰이 대기하고 있는 것입니다. 이것을 아야톨라 호메이니의 묘인데, 이것은 2월 4일 날 찍은 사진입니다. 그러니까 이 사건이 있기 전에 찍은 거죠. 국회의사당이고, 다시 이런 사진들이 현재 전해지고 있습니다. 요새는 여러분 아시겠지만 이슬람교에서는 이번 달이 라마단이죠. 우리 철력으로는 이번 달이 5월이고 5월 사실 오늘은 13일째인데, 이 음력으로 볼 때 이슬람교에서는 이것이 아홉 번째 달입니다. 그리고 이 9번째 달을 이슬람교에서는 라마단으로 라마단이라는 축제를 한 달 동안 하고 있습니다. 이것은 뭐냐면은 모하메드가 코란을 처음으로 계시받은 시기다. 그렇게 해서 9번째 달을 라마단으로 기리고 있습니다. 이슬람교 달력은 사실 순수한 음력입니다. 한국에서는 음력이라고 하지만, 사실 한국의 음력이라는 것은 순수한 음력이 아니고, 음력을 왜냐면은 그 가끔 윤달이라는 것을 놓고 음력하고 그 저 양력을 다시 맞추지 않습니까? 대강 맞추지 않습니까? 그러니까 음력하고 양력의 그 양력을 합친 거라고 하는 것이 그 정확한데 이슬람교의 달력은 완전한 음력입니다. 그러니까 그 태양의 움직임은 전혀 무시한 채 그저 달의 움직임만 그 따지는 그 달력이죠. 그래서 이제 매년 이제 그 양력에 따지면은 그저 이슬람교의 9번째 달은 그 다른 시기에 그 벌어집니다. 그래서 어떤 때 라마단은 가을에서 하기도 하고 봄에서 하기도 하는데 올해는 이렇게 양력에 6월 달에 주로 하고 있습니다. 그런데 이 라마단이라는 달을 통해서 그 대다수의 이슬람교 사람들은 그것을 기도 그리고 낮에는 금식이라고 할까요? 사실 밤에 뭐 마음대로 먹을 수 있으니까 우리 통일교에서 생각하는 그 금식하고는 전혀 다른 개념이지만 일단 낮에는 음식을 안 먹고 그리고 남녀 관계도 갖지 않고 이렇게 낮에는 순수한 몸을 지키는 그런 전통이 있습니다. 그런데 오늘의 대다수의 그 이슬람교 사람들은 그렇지만 이슬람교의 근본주의자랄까요? 그런 일부 사람들은 극단주의 사람들은 그렇지 않고 이것은 거룩한 달이기 때문에 이 달에 이단자를 가능한 많이 죽여야 된다. 이런 것을 실제로 자기들의 종교적인 의무로 믿는 엉뚱한 사람들이 있습니다. 그래서 왜냐하면 우리가 전도하는 것이 우리의 종교인으로서의 의무다. 11조를 하는 것이 종교인으로서의 의무다. 우리가 그렇게 생각하지 않습니까? 그런데 이 사람들은 또 그와 똑같이 이단자를 죽이는 것이 우리의 종교적인 의무다. 이렇게 생각을 하고 또 그렇게 가르치는 사람들이 있습니다. 지금 뉴스에 많이 나오는 아이시스가 오늘은 지금은 그런 주로 대표적인 존재입니다. 그래서 오늘의 현재 이란에서 벌어지고 있는 그 내용이 그러는지는 모르겠습니다. 왜냐하면 이슬람교 안에서도 순니하, 시아라든가 그런 것이 있고 서로가 이단이라고 하고 사우디아라비아하고 이란은 그런 관계로 대치하고 있습니다. 그래서 이것이 혹시 그런 거하고 관계가 있는지도 모르겠습니다. 조금 더 그 배경에 대해서는 아직은 지금 얼마 전에 몇 시간 전에 벌어지고 있고 며칠 전에는 또다시 런던에서 또 테러 사건이 벌어졌지 않습니까? 거기서도 한 7-8명인가요? 죽었고 7명이죠. 그리고 이제 그 외에도 프랑스 그리고 캐나다 호주 여러 나라에서 서양 나라에서 이런 사건들이 벌어지고 있습니다. 그것이 왜 벌어지는가? 왜 이렇게 주로 지금 유럽에서 그런 사건들이 벌어지는가? 지금 이슬람교가 이제 대대적으로 지금 이슬람교 사람들이 유럽으로 이민으로 난민으로 들어가고 있습니다. 그리고 유럽 정부들은 우리는 도덕적인 사람들이다. 그러니까 우리는 이런 사람들을 그냥 받아들인다. 이런 내용으로 그런 난민들을 수용하고 있습니다. 그런데 문제는 이 사람들이 기독교를 이미 버린 상황입니다. 그리고 이제 우리는 유럽은 이미 기독교 각 정부들은 원래는 기독교를 배경을 해서 이루어진 나라들인데 기독교를 버리고 그리고 이제 우리는 그냥 그저 인본주의로 살겠다. 우리는 이제 그런 종교 같은 것은 그저 정치하고는 완전히 그저 단절하고 살겠다. 이렇게 생각을 하는 거죠. 그래서 이대왕님께서 항상 그 말씀하시는 게 그리스도를 버리면은 그리스도에서 떠나면은 사탄의 공격을 막을 방법이 없다라고 우리에게 항상 그 미국의 민주당, 미국의 진보파라는 사람들도 미국도 그렇게 하려고 했습니다. 그것이 바로 그저 힐러리 클린턴을 대표하는 그저 세력이었죠. 그래서 지난번에 그 미국의 대통령 선거가 그만큼 중요했던 것입니다. 도널드 트럼프는 그 기독교를 옹호하는 사람, 기독교 문화를 옹호하는 그 사람으로서 그 대통령 선거에 출마했습니다. 그렇다고 그 사람이 뭐 그렇게 그 거룩한 사람이냐, 그런 기독교의 성직자만큼이나 그 거룩한 생활을 하는 사람이냐 하면은 그렇지 않습니다. 그러나 그런 기독교를 그 기독교 문화를 옹호하고 기독교를 이제 그 옹호하는 사람이라는 그 관점에서는 매우 중요한 역할을 했습니다. 그리고 지금도 그렇습니다. 그런데 미국의 민주당뿐만 아니고 미국의 그저 체제라고 할까 기존 체제 그러니까 공화당을 포함하고 그 이제 미국의 엘리트들 거의 모두가 지금 그런 그 진보파 그리고 이제 이제 반기독교 기독교 사람들이 되고 말았습니다. 민주당, 공화당 그리고 이제 언론 그리고 할리우드 이런 세력들이 그동안 미국을 진보로 그 인도하려고 했는데 이 트럼프라는 사람이 나타나고 그런 길을 막으니까 굉장히 지금 그 위협을 느끼고 모든 수단으로 지금 그 트럼프를 공격하고 있습니다. 그래서 여러분도 그 뉴스를 통해서 그것을 일부 내용을 알고 계시겠지만 한국의 언론은 주로 미국의 주요 언론, 뭐 특히 뉴욕 타임스하고 워싱턴 포스트 이런 그 진보 언론 그리고 CNN 이런 진보 언론만을 보고 그 기사를 쓰고 있기 때문에 여러분은 그런 그 진보적인 그 내용만 보고 있을 것으로 생각합니다. 그러나 트럼프는 굉장히 지금 하나님의 섭리에서 중요한 그 일을 하고 있는 것입니다. 그동안 미국을 유럽처럼 이제 기독교를 버리는 입장으로 인도하려고 하는 진보파에 맞서고 지금 있는 것입니다. 완전한 사람이냐? 그렇지 않습니다. 완벽한 사람이냐? 그렇지 않습니다. 뭐 흠이 많은 사람이냐? 물론 그렇죠. 그러나 그런 것을 그런 관점에서는 굉장히 지금 하나님의 섭리에서 중요한 그 역할을 하고 있습니다. 현재 영국에서는 내일은 총선거를 하게 돼 있습니다. 국회 의회 총선거죠. 그런 영국도 그런 EU를 지금 떠나는 과정에 있습니다. 유럽 연합을 떠나는 과정에 있습니다. 지난 3월 말에 떠난다는 것을 선언하고 그리고 이제 지난 3월 말부터 따지고 2년 동안 협상 기간을 지금 거치고 있는 중입니다. 근데 영국이 떠나려고 했던 것도 역시 이슬람교 이민, 난민 하고 관계가 있는 것입니다. 이렇게 유럽 연합의 중심이 되고 있는 말하자면 수도가 되는 브뤼셀에서 결정하는 내용을 우리에게 강제로 이행시키는 것은 우리가 참을 수 없다고 해서 영국 국민이 다시 자기들의 주권을 주장하면서 유럽 연합을 떠나기로 한 것입니다. 그런 의미에서 내일에 그래서 메이 총리가 그런 협상에서 자기 입지를 또 강화하기 위해서 선거를 하기로 했는데 원래는 그런 뜻으로 하기로 한 것인데 내일 선거의 결과가 사실 이제 불투명한 상황까지 지금 되고 있습니다. 이제 그런 싸움이 지금 유럽에서 벌어지고 그리고 그 각 나라에서 테러 사건들이 벌어지고 있다는 것을 여러분이 알고 이것이 사실 그 기독교하고 기독교를 말살하려고 하는 그 세력의 싸움이다. 이렇게 이해를 해주시면 좋을 것으로 생각합니다. 자, 지금 우리가 약 10분씩 내용을 여러분에 전화하고 그 시기로 그런 패턴을 하고 있습니다. 그래서 지금 약 10분 정도가 된 모양이죠. 다시 잠시 쉬었다가 다시 여러분 뵙고 계속 뉴스를 전달해 드리겠습니다. 그러면 잠시 후에 뵙겠습니다.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
다시 인사 올리겠습니다. 팀메딩입니다. 오늘 킹스 리포트는 5시부터 6시 반까지는 한국어로 방송하고 있습니다. 휴식을 하기 전에는 이슬람교 문제에 대해서 말씀드렸는데 거기에 대해서 유 권사님이 말씀하실 내용이 있으신가요?
네, 이슬람교는 마호메트죠.
빼셨네요. 좋습니다. 그렇게 하면 이게 아버님께서 2011년에 유럽 순회 하실 때 그때 이스탄불로 가시고 거기서도 강연을 하셨어요. 거기가 저도 그때 모시고 갔는데 통역자로서 갔는데 그때 아버님께서 마호메트의 마차는 마귀의 마차다 이렇게까지 말씀을 하셨어요. 그때 제가 통역자였는데 그때 형제님도 계셨어요. 형제님도 계시고 아버님께서 마호메트 마차는 마귀의 마차다 이렇게 말씀하실 때 통역이 어떻게 통역하나 이렇게 잘 듣고 계셨답니다. 근데 제가 그걸 제대로 통역을 안 했다고 지금도 계속 지적하시네요. 제가 아주 큰 죄를 졌습니다. 아무튼 아버님께서 그렇게 이스탄불에서 이슬람교 사람들 수백 명, 1,000명 정도, 1,000명 가까이 있었을 거예요. 상당히 큰, 그러니까 한 호텔의 몰룸이었는데, 거기서 이슬람교 사람들을 앞에 놓고 그렇게 말씀하신 기억이 있습니다. 사실 그렇습니다. 이슬람교는 오늘날 이슬람교를 믿는 사람들은 뭐 평화스러운 사람들이 많습니다. 뭐 대다수라고도 할 수 있습니다. 그러나 이슬람교의 저 경전을 보면은 결코 평화스러운 종교가 아닙니다. 미국의 저 데이비드 우드라는 사람도 그런 이슬람교의 뭐 코란이라든가 뭐 하디드라든가 이런 경전을 아랍어로 원어로 연구하고 자기가 연구하는 내용을 계속 동영상으로 발표를 하고 있습니다. 유튜브에 가시면은 데이비드 우드라는 사람을 검색하시면은 나옵니다만 그 내용을 보면은 결코 이것은 평화스러운 내용이 종교가 아닙니다. 어느 사회에서 자기들이 소수파일 때는 평화롭게 지내고 점점 세력을 확대시키면서 다수가 됐을 때는 그 사회를 완전히 정복하는 그런 전술을 마호메트는 가르치고 있습니다. 그리고 여성에 대해서 어느 나라보다도 어느 문화보다도 여성 학대가 심하고 여성 차별이 심한 종교입니다. 이것이 이슬람교의 진짜 모습이라는 것을 데이비드 우드도 밝히고 있습니다. 사실 그렇지 않습니까? 우리가 흔히 알고 있습니다만 사우디아라비아에서는 여성은 운전 면허증을 받을 수 없습니다. 운전 면허증 아예 만들 수가 없어요. 여성의 인권이라는 것은 뭐 없는 거나 마찬가지입니다. 여성은 항상 자기 친척 중에 남자와 함께 다녀야 되고, 여자가 뭐 혼자서 길거리 나가는 것은 있을 수 없는 것입니다. 그리고 마치 가축처럼 뭐 남자의 재산처럼 그렇게 그런 입장에 있습니다. 여성의 인권을 주장하는 진보주의자들, 좌파들이 물론 기독교가 사실 여자를 해방시키는 종교인데, 그러나 좌파는 이슬람교하고 연합하고 기독교를 반대하고 기독교를 비판하고 있습니다. 아까 제가 말씀드린 것처럼 이것은 좌파도 이슬람교도 기독교를 무서워하기 때문인 것입니다. 어느 종교보다도 영적으로 수준이 높고 어느 종교보다도 높은 입장에 있고 어느 정치 사상보다도 강하고 어느 정치 사상도 기독교를 이길 수가 없어요. 절대로 이길 수가 없습니다. 왜냐하면 기독교 뒤에는 예수님이 계시고 하나님이 계시기 때문에. 그리고 좌파 사람들도 이것을 자기들의 본심에서는 알고 있습니다. 본심에서는 알고 있어요. 그래서 여성 인권을 전혀 인정하지 않는 이슬람교하고 연합전선을 만들고 기독교를 오늘날 공격하고 있는 것입니다. 그런 의미에서 우리가 지금 세계에서 벌어지고 있는 그런 테러 사건들을 이해를 하는 것이 좋습니다. 이대왕님께서 오늘 세상에서 오늘 세계에서 정치적인 사탄주의가 세 가지 형태로 나타나고 있다고 늘 말씀을 하십니다. 세 가지 형태로 나타나고 있다. 정치적인 사탄주의가 하나는 이슬람교, 특히 이슬람교 안에서도 와하비 이슬람교, 이것은 사우디아라비아를 중심으로 하는 이슬람교 교파입니다. 그리고 두 번째가 중국입니다. 중국이 지금 세계에서 정치적인 사탄주의의 하나의 형태로 나타나고 있습니다. 그리고 세 번째가 특히 그러니까 국제 금융가들이죠. 특히 앙글로삭선 인정의 중심으로 하는 국제 금융가, 이 세 가지입니다. 그 중에 하나인 그 이슬람교가 이번 달 라마단을 통해서 많은 저 테러 사건을 그 발생시키고 있습니다. 그 테러 사건이 나니까 참 무섭죠, 유 권사님.
예, 아주 무섭습니다.
예. 근데 한국에서는 아직 그런 사건들이 없는데 한국에서는 이슬람교가 있긴 있는데 뭐 그저 이태원에 사원이 하나 있죠, 그 이슬람교
예.
사원이. 예, 근데
한국도 점점 늘어나고 있어요.
좀 늘어나고 있어요.
네.
예, 그러니까 아직은 소수파이죠.
예. 그렇긴 해도 지난번에 그 촛불 시위 할 때 이슬람 교도들도 합세했어요. 근데 보니까 인원이 아주 굉장히 많았다고.
아, 그래요?
예.
생각보다 많았던
무시할
모양이죠.
수 없다고요.
무시할 수 없대요. 예, 그러니까 그렇지만 아직은 그 한국 사회에서 소수파이기 때문에 평화로운 그 종교의 형태를 나타내고 있는 거죠. 그런데 그 한국에서 이슬람교 믿는 사람들은 어떤 사람들인가요? 한국 사람도 있어요?
한국 사람 많죠.
여성이 그저 이슬람교 남자하고 결혼한 경우는
있어요.
있어요?
있어요. 예, 예. 그리고 이슬람교 남자들이 계획적으로 접근하죠. 결혼하려고.
이슬람교에서는 부인을 4명까지 가질 수 있게 돼 있어요. 그 종교적인 그 가르침이 그렇습니다. 한국에서는 법적으로 그것이 어떻게 되는지 모르겠습니다만 원래 그 4명까지 가질 수 있어요. 예.
그러니까 한국 여자들이 바보지요. 그쪽으로 시집 가는 사람들은.
그렇죠. 그 결혼을 하고 난 다음에 어떤 그 대우를 받을지 그 걱정이네요. 아직은 소수파이기 때문에 그렇게 심하게 다루지는 않을 수도 있습니다. 그러나 뭐 만일에 남편을 따라가서 사우디아라비아라든가 중동 나라에 가면은 그때는 예를 들어서 여자가 머리부터 발끝까지 안 보이게 하는 그런 까만 옷을 입어야 되는지도 모르겠고, 예를 들어서 사우디아라비아 남자하고 결혼한 여자가 사우디아라비아에 가서 운전을 했다가는 체포당합니다. 여자가 운전하면 체포당합니다. 예.
그런 건
감옥에
모르지요.
들어가요. 예.
여자들이.
그러니까 그런 실상을 모르는 거죠. 예. 그리고 이슬람교에서는 남자가 여자를 마음대로 이혼할 수 있어요. 그래서
그런 것도 모르겠지.
그러니까 난 너를 이혼한다. 말만 하면은 이혼이 되는 겁니다. 그래서 그것을 이용하고 그리고 부인을 4명까지 가질 수 있으니까 창녀 집에 가가지고 참식 결혼하는 거예요. 참식 결혼. 그리고 그러니까 조금만 창녀 여자하고 한 15분이든 30분 동안만 결혼하는 거예요. 그것도 그러니까 이것이 외도가 안 되는 거예요. 불륜이 안 되는 거예요. 왜냐면은 이 사람은 내 부인이다. 30분 동안, 15분 동안. 그러니까 그런 그 방법도 써가지고 이제 그래서 메카에 내가 가지 않습니까? 메카에 가는 길이 그 창녀집이 있답니다. 메카로 가는 길. 왜냐면 이제 그 성지순례를 하는 것인데 성지순례를 하면서도 창녀집을 점점 하면서 들어가는 집마다 잠시 결혼을 하고 나온다 그러네요. 예. 우리 이대왕님이 하버드 다니실 때 룸메이트가 그런 논문을 쓰고 있었대요. 자기 룸메이트가 그 메카에 가는 길에 창녀집이라는 제목을 가지고 그 말씀을 우리에게도 가끔 하십니다. 또 말씀하세요.
여자는 인권이 없네요.
네, 없어요.
하나의 그 물건이네요.
하나의 물건이고
네.
소나 개와 똑같은 입장에 있는 거예요. 그것이 이제 이슬람교가 굉장히 무서운 종교이고 아버님께서 마음에 또 많은 마귀의 마다 이렇게 하실만 해요. 예. 그런데 그것이 한국에서도 점점 그 인구가 늘어나고 있다 그러니까 걱정이 되네요. 예. 그것은 이제 점점 이제 유럽에서는 스웨덴 같은 나라는 이미 이슬람교 국가가 될 수밖에 없는 지경까지 지금 가 있어요. 앞으로 뭐 어떤 이 스웨덴의 일부 도시의 어느 지역은 이슬람교의 샤리아 법이라는 법이 있는데 그것이 이미 시행되고 있고 스웨덴 경찰은 벌써 들어갈 수 없는 상황에까지 돼 있다고 지금 언론에 나오고 있습니다. 그럼에도 불구하고 스웨덴 정부는 그런 아니다, 그런 일이 없다, 우리는 진보다, 우리는 다른 나라 사람들 받아들인다, 우리는 마음이 넓다, 하면서도 그러나 기독교를 버리고 그리스도를 버렸기 때문에 그런 이슬람교의 진입을 못 막는, 그리고 사실상 지금 점령돼가는 과정에 있습니다. 스웨덴이 그렇고 그리고 다른 나라들도 그렇습니다. 그러면 다시 1분 후에 여러분을 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 잠시 휴식을 갖겠습니다.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today. Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today. Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today. Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
안녕하십니까. 다시 인사 올리겠습니다. 티모시 엘더입니다. 오늘 킹스 리포트는 5시부터 6시 반까지는 한국어로 방송하고 있습니다. 지금은 한국에서는 7시가 돼가니까 여러분께서 저녁을 드시는 시간인가요? 그런 시간에 저희를 방송을 들어주셔서 감사합니다. 오늘은 윤호숙 권사님을 게스트로 모셨습니다. 지금까지 약 1시간 동안 이슬람교에 대해서 여러분께 말씀드렸는데 그것은 그 정도로 하고 이번 남은 약 30분 동안은 기후 변화 문제에 대해서 여러분에게 말씀드리도록 하고 싶습니다. 오늘 미국의 어떤 뉴스 사이트에 breitbart.com이라는 사이트가 있는데 거기에 보니까 지구 온난화는 신화다. 그러니까 거짓말이다. 그것이 근거가 뭐냐면은 2017년 그러니까 올해 들어와서 발표된 과학자 논문 58개 논문에 그런 거짓이다라는 증거가 나와 있다. 이렇게 말하고 있네요. 지금 보시는 사진은 아마 지금 사진이 나오고 있어요. Stop Global Warming 그러니까 지구 온난화를 막아라 Before it's too late 너무 늦기 전에라는 지구 온난화 반대 시위를 하는 수염 아저씨 사진 나와 있는데 이것을 쭉 보니까 이것이 예를 들어서 지구 온난화가 거짓말이다라고 주장하는 연구 결과입니다. 주장이라기보다는 연구 결과입니다. 그래프가 하나 있는데 이것을 보면은 보십시오. 이거 1400년대 초반에 가장 높은 기온이었습니다. 그러다가 1600년대, 1800년대 초반이 추웠죠. 그것이 소빈화기라고도 할 수 있는 기간이었는데 그 후에 지금 1800년대 초반부터 계속 올라가고 있는데 그래도 현재 기온은 1400년 초반하고 비교하면 아직은 낮은 수준이다. 이런 결과가 나왔고 그리고 이것은 또 다른 연구 결과입니다. 이것이 지구의 북반구의 기온인데 이것을 보면은 역시 중세 유럽의 중세 기간 그러니까 1000년, 1100년, 1200년 그때 시기가 1300년 정도가 그때 시기가 가장 높았고 그리고 20세기 말은 그래도 그때하고 비교하면 높았지만 아직 비교하면 아직은 낮은 수준이었다는 것이 나오고 있고 그리고 이제 중국 동부의 온도의 추이입니다. 이것은 현재를 0으로 하고 1000년 전, 2000년 전, 3000년 전 쭉 가는 거죠. 그렇게 하면은 지금부터 8000년 전이 가장 높았다. 그거와 비교하면은 현재는 1, 2, 3도 정도 그저 낮은 수준이네요. 그러니까 8000년 전이 그저 높았다는 거죠. 이것은 조금 더 다른 그 연구 결과입니다. 그 프랑스입니다. 그 프랑스의 그저 포도를 수확하는 그 시기를 그 그래프로 나타낸 것입니다. 이것을 보니까 그 포도 수확 그 시기가 그러니까 이제 위에 올라갈수록 따뜻하고 그 그래프의 위로 갈수록 그 따뜻하고 밑에 내려갈수록 차가운 것입니다. 그리고 이제 그 오렌지색이 그 알세이스 지방의 포도 수확 시기고, 그리고 그 초록색이 보건디의 시기고, 뭐 이렇게 프랑스의 각 지역의 포도 수확 시기를 나타낸 것인데, 뭐 가끔 우리가 다 물에 빠져 죽는다. 이런 말까지 하고 있지 않습니까? 엘고어가 전 부통령이 그런 주장하고, 사실 그 사람이 그런 주장을 해서 엄청나게 돈을 많이 벌었습니다. 그러니까 그 돈벌이로 하고 있는 거죠. 근데 이것도 역시 제가 아까 말씀드린 그 세계 사단주의의 그 정치적 사단주의의 형태의 그 하나의 하고 관계가 되는 것입니다. 이것은 그 부자들은 자기 활동을 줄이지 않습니다. 예를 들어서 이제 환경 운동가들이 자기 개인 비행기를 타면서 세계를 누비고 있는 그런 상황까지 최근에 보도가 되고 있습니다만은, 그 부자들은 뭐 이제 상관없습니다. 그런데 이제 경제 활동을 줄이면은 어떤 사람들이 그 피해를 보냐면은 일반 노동자들입니다. 중상층 그리고 가난한 사람들, 이런 사람들이 그 피해를 보게 돼 있어요. 경제 활동을 줄이면은. 부자들은 상관없어요. 자기들은 돈이 있고 뭐 자기들 비행기만 타고 다니면 되니까. 그래서 뭐 이제 그리고 이제 사람들에게 탄소세를 부과해야 된다, 이런 말까지 나오고 있지 않습니까? 탄소세 말하면 우리가 그러니까 CO2 그러니까 이산화탄소를 배출하는 양에 따라서 세금을 내라고 하는 거죠. 이것이 주로 어느 나라로 겨냥하고 있냐면은 미국입니다. 미국이 이산화탄소를 많이 배출하고 있다고 해서. 그런데 미국보다도 곱빼기로 이산화탄소를 배출하는 나라가 중국입니다. 그런데 이 좌파 진보파들이 중국에 대해서는 말을 하면 그 나라는 아직 경제 발전 상황이 있으니까 아직은 환경 오염에 대해서 생각할 단계가 아니다. 그러니까 중국에 대해서는 아무런 제재도 하지 않고 그냥 미국을 주로 겨냥하고 있는 것입니다. 그래서 이제 미국의 역시 왜 미국을 겨냥하느냐? 미국이 가장 이 세계에서 기독교를 대표하고 자유를 대표하는 나라이기 때문에 그러는 것입니다. 이 좌파 사람들, 진보파들은 중앙 집권 형태의 국제 질서를 만들려고 하고 있는데, 그러기 위해서는 미국의 주권을 없애야 되는 그런 상황이 있기 때문에 미국을 겨냥하는 것입니다. 그래서 트럼프 대통령이 지금 파리에 기후 변화 협정에서 탈퇴하겠다고 선언을 했지 않습니까? 그것은 100% 타당한 결정이었습니다. 중국은 이 파리 협정에서 보면은 중국은 아무런 의무도 없습니다. 이산화탄소 배출량을 줄이는 의무가 전혀 없습니다. 그런데 미국은 그것을 20몇 %까지 줄여야 되고, 미국의 경제 활동을 겨냥한 협정이었다고 말해도 과언이 아닙니다. 네, 그렇게 그 트럼프가 그 결정하니까 좌파 진보파들은 아주 지금 엄청난 반대를 하고 있죠. 그렇게 할 이유가 없어요. 첫째, 지구 온난화는 적어도 인간의 경제 활동에 인한 지구 온난화는 그 이런 그래프를 보셔도 아시다시피 보시다시피 이제 거짓말입니다. 신화입니다. 하나의 종교입니다. 종교, 과학이 아닙니다. 그것이 뭐 대다수의 과학자가 그것을 그 콘센서스를 이루고 있다고 하지만 그렇지 않습니다. 그렇지 않습니다. 아직은 이거 논쟁의 그 여지가 얼마든지 있고 올해 들어와서도 이제 저 58개의 그저 논문이 그것이 그렇지 않다는 그저 연구 결과를 내고 있습니다. 그럼 그것을 무시하는 좌파, 그것을 무시하는 진보파들은 정치적인 그 동기로 그렇게 하고 있는 것입니다. 그 전에 그저 알고아가 그 지구 온난화 대책을 세우지 않으면은 뭐 뉴욕이 그저 물에 잠긴다, 뭐 이런 말까지 했습니다만은 뉴욕이 지금 전혀 물에 잠기지 않고 있습니다. 그리고 뭐 빙하가 다 없어진다, 뭐 이제 북극 남극의 빙하가 다 없어진다, 그렇지 않습니다. 없어지지 않고 있습니다. 최근에 미국의 그 우주항공 그 나사가 발표한 결과에 따르면은 빙하가 전혀 축소되지 않고 있다고 하고 있습니다. 이것이 나사의 그저 연구 결과입니다. 그러면 잠시 쉬었다가 다시 여러분을 뵙도록 하겠습니다.
여기 어떤 사람?
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
예, 다시 인사 올리겠습니다. 팀에어데입니다. 2017년 6월 7일 수요일에 킹스 리포트입니다. 오늘은 5시부터 6시 반까지는 그저 한국어로 방송하고 있습니다. 조금 그 전에 그저 우리가 그 온난화, 지금 그 기후 변화 대해서 말씀을 드렸는데, 그리고 이것이 사실 그저 인간의 그 경제 활동을 인한 것이 아니다라는 것을 증명하는 연구 결과가 올해 들어와서도 58개 발표됐다, 이런 내용을 여러분께 말씀드렸습니다. 거기에 대해서 채팅란에 어떤 분이 코멘트를 하셨다면서요? 그걸
예.
한번
식구들은 똑똑하네요.
예.
예, 사진에서 보는 아까 그 곰은 폭풍우에 떠밀려 온 거라고. 그리고 이제 그 세금을 걷기 위해서 그렇게 한다. 아주 잘 알고 있네요.
예. 그러니까 그런 그것이 사실입니다. 잘 보신 것입니다. 근데 그 세계 언론들은 특히 미국의 언론, 그 유럽의 소양의 언론들은 그와 반대로 이것이 인간의 그 경제 활동을 위한 것이기 때문에 특히 선진국들은 경제 활동을 줄이고 이산화탄소 배출량을 줄여야 된다고 합니다. 그런데 여러분 생각하십시오. 이산화탄소가 오염입니까? 이산화탄소가 많은 것이 식물은 이산화탄소를 필요하지 않습니까? 낮에는 이산화탄소를 흡입하고 산소를 배출하지 않습니까? 그러면 이산화탄소가 많아지면은 그만큼 또 나무라 식물들이 더 많이 자라날 수 있는 것이죠. 그러니까 이산화탄소를 이제 마치 공기 오염로 생각하는 그렇게 규정하고 사람들의 인식에 그렇게 머리에 박도록 하는 것이 이것이 프로파간다입니다. 좌파의 프로파간다입니다. 그것은 선진국의 결정 활동을 줄이려고 하는 프로파간다이고 그리고 이제 그것도 정치 권력을 중앙으로 결집시키려고 하는 그런 것입니다. 이거 동기가 뭡니까? 중앙 집권형 정치 체제를 세계적인 질서에서 만들려고 하는 그런 동기라고 할 수밖에 없습니다. 그런 유엔을 통해서 또 이런 파리 협정 같은 것을 통해서 너희 나라는 이산화탄소 배출량을 이렇게 줄이라 이렇게 지시를 하고 말이죠. 유엔을 통해서 그리고 이런 국제 협정을 통해서 명령을 하고 하는 것입니다. 거기에 대해서 트럼프는 아니다. 우리는 그렇게 안 하겠다. 미국 국민의 일자리를 뺏어가는 그런 가짜 온난화 협정은 필요 없다. 우리는 탈퇴하겠다. 이렇게 선언한 거죠. 아주 잘된 것입니다. 자, 미국의 일부 지방자치단체들은 아니 그래도 우리는 그래도 파리 협정을 따르겠다고 하고 있습니다. 일부 지방자치단체에서 그렇게 하고 싶으면 그렇게 하면 되죠. 그것은 그 자치단체에 사는 선거인의 시민들의 책임이죠. 그러나 모두가 거기에 따라갈 필요는 없는 것입니다. 예를 들어서 석탄 산업, 미국의 석탄 산업을 완전히 죽이려고 민주당은 하고 있었습니다. 힐러리 클린턴도 그런 노력을 했고, 그래서 오바마 전 대통령도 그런 노력을 하고 있었습니다. 그런데 이제 탈퇴했기 때문에 파리 협정에서 탈퇴했기 때문에 석탄 산업이 미국의 석탄 산업이 다시 살아날 수 있는 기회가 된 것입니다. 되고 있습니다. 그리고 다른 이제 그것도 그렇습니다. 석탄을 연료로 사용하는 발전소라든가 전기 발전소라든가 이런 것이 다시 이제 미국에 생길 수 있는 기회가 되고 있습니다. 그렇게 우리가 언론에서 보는 것을 우리가 언론이 어떤 동기로 쓰고 있는지를 잘 봐야 됩니다. 특히 한국 언론의 국제 뉴스 보도는 자기들이 보는 주요 언론, 그러니까 미국의 경우는 CNN, 뉴욕타임스, 워싱턴 포스트 이런 매체를 보면서 대전 기사를 쓰고 있는데 이런 매체들이 과연 어떤 입장에서 쓰고 있는지를 전혀 생각하지 않고 그냥 노가 없이 그런 내용을 여러분에게 전하고 있는 것이 굉장히 저로서는 안타까운 상황입니다. 그래서 여러분께서 항상 조선일보 같은 신문도 그렇습니다. 한겨레는 말할 것도 없고 이제 그러나 여러분이 보통 보수라고 생각하는 신문들도 그 내용을 그대로 믿을 수 없습니다. 없어요. 그것이 어떤 배경에서 나오는지를 잘 생각하면서 그래야 합니다. 그래서 우리가 킹스 리포터를 통해서 이런 내용을 여러분께 전해드리는 것입니다. 이런 그 그래프가 조선일보라도 나올까요? 1400년대 초반에 그 기온이 현재보다도 높았다. 그리고 이제 뭐 올라갔다 내려갔다 하고 있다. 이런 것이 나올까요? 아니죠. 왜냐면은 그리고 중국 동부의 그 기온이 이렇게 지금 그 추위가 이렇게 되고 있다는 그래프가 한국 언론에 나갑니까? 아니죠. 왜냐면은 뭐 한국 언론에서는 뭐 기후 온난화가 사실이다. 그런 종교가 신앙에 빠져 있기 때문에 이런 그래프를 봐도 못 내죠. 봐도 이것은 우리 신앙하고 다르다고 해서 이것을 배제하고 보도를 할 것입니다. 이런 의견도 있습니다라는 것을 독자들에게 전혀 전달을 하지 않을 것으로 안타깝게도 생각됩니다. 직접 찾아갈 수 있는 시대입니다. 이것이 참 우리 시대의 큰 혜택입니다. 계속 말씀하세요.
인터넷을 안 하는 사람도 많이 있으니까.
그러면 애들한테 지키지.
근데 이제 우리가 뭘 잘못했냐면은 애들을 잘못 가르쳤다 그런 생각이 들고 1세대들이 너무 많은 책임을 못한 것 같아요. 기독교가 최고로 고급 종교인데 왜 이슬람한테 당하는지 그것도 참 비극이고 저는 재림 주님이 오셨을 때 이 세상의 모든 것이 다 해결된다고 생각했어요. 그리고 공산주의도 무너진다고 생각했고 또 무너졌다고 생각했는데 아버님이 가시고 나서 이제 진짜 악이 막 최악으로 오히려 최고로 올라오는 것 같아요. 그래서 반대로 생각하면은 이게 이제 악이 올라갔다가 이제 한 번에 확 꼬꾸라지겠지요. 그러니까 천일국이 가까이 왔다 그런 희망도 있어요. 끝까지 싸워야 됩니다. 사탄이하고.
예, 그러니까 지금 사탄 세력이 그만큼 지금 세계에서 강하다는 것을 우리가 알고 항상 우리가 이건 좀 이상한 거 아니냐, 이건 좀 이상하다고 생각하는 것은 끝까지 추적하고 밝혀야 되는 그런 자세가 필요하다고 생각합니다. 그리고 자기 양심에 따라서 생활을 해야 되고요. 지금 양심의 사람들이 안 따르는 게 문제의 원인이 많이 되고 있지 않습니까? 이건 이상하다, 이건 아닌데라고 생각하면서도 그냥 편하니까 따라가는 게 편하니까 월급 나오니까 그래서 엉뚱한 방향으로 가고 있는 것이 참 슬프네요. 그렇지 않습니까?
예, 그렇습니다. 가만히 있는 사람들이 더 나쁩니다.
예.
속으로 알면서 겉으로 그냥 몸 편하려고 가만히 있으면 언젠가는 그게 자기한테 오는 거죠. 예, 자기가 당합니다.
예. 우리가 사실 이건 약간 주제가 다른 주제로 갑니다만 가끔 연락이 가끔 연락이 옵니다. 사람들에게 가정연합에 연락이 안 가는 곳에 살고 있는 사람들, 그리고 생체도 그런 곳까지 우리가 연락할 여유가 없는 곳에 살고 있는 사람들이 가끔 연락이 옵니다. 그동안 나는 몇 년 동안 뭐가 이상하다고 생각하면서 인터넷을 검색해 보니까 우연히, 자기들 말로는 우연이라고 하는데, 우연히 이대왕님의 동영상을 보게 됐다. 보게 됐더니 이것은 이런 일이 있었구나라는 것을 발견하고, 그리고 우리에게 연락을 하고, 그리고 이대왕님의 섭리를 협조하는, 지지하게 되는 그런 분들이 많이 있습니다. 그렇게 해서 그러니까 이상하다고 생각하면은 직접 알아보려고 하는 의지가, 또 그런 마음이, 우리가 직접 책임질 수 있는 우리가 그런 엄청난 시대에 살고 있습니다. 그렇지 않습니까?
그렇습니다.
네. 그러면 잠시 쉬고 그리고 다시 여러분을 뵙도록 하겠습니다. Let's take a break now.
Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Carr Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Carr Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today.
다시 인사 올리겠습니다. 디메어데입니다. 오늘 킹스 리포트는 5시부터 6시 반까지는 한국어로 방송하고 있습니다. 이제 마지막 시간이 되겠습니다. 한국 방송은. 이 마지막 시간은 중국의 동향에 대해서 여러분께 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 이제 이대왕님께서 말씀하시는 그 세계 사단, 정치적인 사단주의의 형태가 하나가 이슬람교, 하나가 앵글로삭선을 중심으로 한 제 군명가, 그리고 세 번째가 중국입니다. 중국은 이제 관련해서 우리가 많이 관심을 갖고 있는 나라입니다만, 남진아해에서도 중국의 문제가 굉장히 큽니다. 남진아해에서는 남진아해 90%를 남진아해는 여러분 아시죠? 베트남 그리고 태국 그리고 이제 말레이시아, 인도네시아 그리고 브루나이 그리고 필리핀 이런 나라들이 주변에 모여 있는 그 바다입니다. 근데 중국은 우리가 볼 때 굉장히 엉뚱한 주장하고 있는데. 남진아해의 90%가 남중국해 90%가 자기들의 영해다. 이렇게 주장을 하고 있습니다. 이것은 역사적인 배경이 있다고 하지만 오늘날의 국제 법에는 전혀 어긋나는 주장입니다. 이런 사실은 이미 작년에 국제재판소에서 결정된 내용입니다. 그러나 중국은 그를 무시하고 남중국해의 90%는 우리 것이다라고 손을 긋고 계속 주장하고 있습니다. 그리고 남중국해에 인공섬을 만들고 그 인공섬을 이제는 군사화하고 하는 것까지 일까지 하고 있습니다. 거기에 대한 보고서가 어제 화요일날 미국의 국방부에서 나왔으니까 그것을 인공섬의 사진 하나인데 이거 보시다시피 이것은 원래는 바다가 얕은 지역을 매립하고 만든 섬입니다. 그리고 거기다가 활주로를 만들었습니다. 그리고 이 보고서에 따르면은 중국의 이런 활주로가 약 아까 제가 그것을 계산했는데 그잖아요. 하여튼 2,000m 이상의 활주로입니다. 그런 활주로를 만들었어요. 그리고 이제 세계 공군 전투기 연대 세계 연대까지 거기다가 배치하고 그리고 이제 보니까 경납고도 있고 그리고 통신 시설도 있고 그런 것이 다 위성으로 확인되고 있습니다. 경납고가 24개 있고 그리고 거기에 또 고정 무기, 그리고 막사도 있고, 그리고 행정 그 건물까지 있습니다. 이것이 문제가 되는 것은 남중국 해이면은 국제 무역의 상당히 큰 부분이 남중국 해를 통해서 왔다 갔다 하고 있습니다. 1년에 매년 약 5조 달러, 그러니까 한화로 약 5천조 달러 어치의 무역 물량이 남중국해를 통해서 그 배로 화물선을 왔다 갔다 하는 거죠. 그런 전략적인 그 바다를 그 중국이 이것은 우리 영해다, 우리 허가 없이는 다른 나라에서는 들어올 수 없다라고 주장할 수 있는 그런 기반을 점점 만들고 있다는 것은 국제 질서에 큰 지장이 될 수밖에 없습니다. 그런데 재미있는 것은 미국의 좌파 진보라고 하지만 사실은 진보가 아닙니다. 진보라는 것은 앞서간다는 것인데 전혀 앞서가지는 않습니다. 그래서 저는 그것을 좌파로 부르기로 하겠습니다만, 역시 한편에서는 이슬람교하고 연합하고 있지만 또 한편에서는 중국하고도 연합을 하고 있어요. 올해 초에 1월 달에 다보스 포럼이 있었지 않습니까? 여러분 아실지 모르지만 매년 스위스의 다보스라는 마을에서 세계의 지도자들, 그리고 주된 정치적인 지도자, 경제 지도자, 이런 사람들이 많이 모여서 1년에 한 번씩 일을 합니다. 그리고 이제 세계 여러 문제를 서로 하는 그런 모임인데, 그 다보스 회의에 올해는 기조 연설을 한 사람이 누구냐면은 그것이 중국의 시진핑 주석이었습니다. 그런 처음으로 거기에 중국의 주석이 참석했다 그러는데, 그런 이제 말하자면은 자본주의 국가들의 모임에 중국의 국가 주석을, 그리고 중국의 중국 공산당의 두목을 초대하는 것 자체가 참 이상한 것이지만, 거기서 어떤 말을 했냐면은, 자, 이제 미국이 점점 세계 지도자의 입장에서, 지도국의 입장에서 후퇴하고 있으니까, 물러나고 있으니까 아무나 없는 것 같다. 세계를 지도할 만한 나라가 없는 것 같다. 그래서 여러분이 만일 필요하다면은 우리가 그 역할을 할 수도 있다. 이런 말을 한 거죠. 야, 중국이
무섭네요.
무섭죠.
예.
예. 이슬람교도 인권을 무시하는 그런 종교이지만 중국도 인권을 무시합니다. 중국은 이제 사람들의 반체제 인사들의 장기를 빼고 이식을 하지 않습니까? 제가 우리 동일교회 선배 식구님 중에도 적어도 두 분이 중국에 가서 가한 이식을 받은 걸 제가 직접 알고 있어요. 그 가한이 어떤 사람이 왔어요? 그것은 지하 기독교인의 가한이었을 수도 있고, 아니면은 법륜공이라고 그러죠? 팔룬공. 법륜공의 사람의, 왜냐면 그런 종교 믿는 사람들 꽉 잡아가고 장기를 이식 빼가고, 그것이 또 사형의 한 형태가 될 수도 있는 나라입니다. 여러분
파륜궁.
여러분 중요한 것은 하나님을 안 믿으면은, 그리고 하나님을 믿지 않으면은 인권이 있을 수 없습니다. 결국 인권이라는 것은 하나님을 믿는, 하나님에 대한 신앙이 있어야 인권이 있는 것입니다. 이것이 굉장히 중요한 것입니다. 그러니까 인본주의라고 하지만 인본주의 가지고는 인권이 나올 수가 없어요. 하나님이 있어야 하나님의 아들, 딸이 있고, 우리가 인간은 하나님의 아들, 딸이라는 것을 인정해야 거기서 인권이 나오는 것입니다. 그래야 그 인간의 가치가 인정되는 것입니다. 인간은 그저 뭐 공산주의에서 그 주장하는 것처럼 동물이나 다름없다. 그냥 그저 영인체가 없는 그냥 그저 한 가지다. 이렇게 하면은 인권이 있는 그저 철학적인 그저 배경이 없습니다. 그래서 저 중국은 서양에서 그저 압력을 주면은 그 인권을 어느 정도 인식하는 것처럼 흉내를 내지만 사실은 그 사람들은 그런 그저 정치적인 그 배계가 그 철학적인 배경이 없는 것입니다. 그런 나라가 이제 이렇게 세력을 증대시키고 있다는 것은 그저 큰 문제입니다. 지금 한반도 문제도 그렇습니다. 한반도 그 북한 문제가 결국 그 중국에서 해결할 수밖에 없다 이런 콘센서스가 나오고 있습니다만은 그리고 이제 그런지도 모르겠습니다. 그러나 중국이 한반도에 대한 영향력을 증대하는 것은 결코 한국을 위해서 좋은 아닙니다. 아버님의 저 고향인 한반도 한국이 특히 북한이 중국의 그 통치하에 들어가 버린다는 것은 참 비극적인 일입니다. 그러나 한국에서는 어떻게 해서든지 큰 막대한 그 피해가 나올 수밖에 없는 전쟁은 피해야 되고 그럴 수 있는 길이 반드시 열릴 것을 기도합니다. 우리가 정말 오늘 북한 문제에 대해서 여러분께 자세히 말씀드리는 기회는 없었습니다만 앞으로 한국이 잘 되기를 기도합니다. 여러분께서 지금 어떤 일이 있든 간에 하나님에 대한 신앙, 아버님에 대한 신앙을 버리지 마시고 하나님의 대신자 상속자이 되시는 문형진 이대왕님을 중심으로 뭉쳐 주시고 그리고 계속 하나님의 섭리를 추진해 나가실 것을 부탁드리겠습니다. 오늘 아침 함께 해주신 여러분께 감사드립니다. 그럼 다음 주 수요일 날 다시 한국어 방송으로 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 그러면 여러분 안녕히 가십시오. 유권사님.
And our sons, and just like a drum, I can hear their hearts beating. I know my God won't let them be defeated. Every child has a dream to belong and be loved. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love the least of these.
Good morning. Welcome to the King's Report for Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. We're in the 8th year of Cheongi, the 5th month and 13th day by the heavenly calendar. My name is Tim Elder. I'm sitting in for the second king of Cheongguk, Hyungjin Moon, and entrepreneur and a small business owner. And this morning we're broadcasting from 6:30 till 8 and in the English language. We just finished a Korean language broadcast from 5 to 6:30. And we're doing that every Wednesday now so that we have a chance to speak to the people in Korea and other Korean-speaking people around the world about the political Satanism in the world because they are in a very difficult situation right now, and certainly they need to know about what's going on, and their media is not helping them in that way. I want to start together with the weather this morning. It's 11 degrees now in the Cheongguk area, and so it's gone up 1 degree in the last hour and a half. And we're expecting to go up to 16 degrees today, cloudy and cool with a shower is the AccuWeather forecast. And tonight down to 8 degrees. It's I'm sorry, I've been doing that in I'm still
that sounds pretty cold.
Sounds pretty cool. I'm still in the Celsius. I'm sorry, I didn't switch my computer. Okay, so it's at 51 degrees now, and it's going up to 62. I have to switch my software here in my brain. Going down to 46 tonight.
Reboot.
Yes, and tomorrow going up to 69. Recently, we've really been much cooler than the normal temperature. Normal temperature this time of year is in the highs are in the mid-70s, or at least low to mid-70s, 72, 73, 74, something like that. But we haven't been there in a long time. But probably by the end of this week, we should get there to the mid-70s and a lot more sunshine. But I don't think we should expect to see any sunshine today.
I saw some snow and sleet on the side of the road.
No, come on.
Yesterday morning.
No,
in
come
the
on.
Lord's Valley area. Yeah,
No.
the higher elevations.
In the
yeah.
higher elevations.
Little piles of sleet and snow.
Was there a global warming protest march going on at the same time? Yeah. We'll get into that later on. Let's not get into that now. Let's not get distracted right now. I want to, for my Rima this morning, I've chosen Acts, actually I think it was Acts 21 that I picked up. Acts 21, yes, from verse 30. Let me start with verse 30. Here, Paul is he's been causing some trouble. Paul, this is about Paul. And all the city was moved, and the people ran together. And they took Paul and drew him out of the temple, and forthwith the doors were shut. And as they went about to kill him, tidings came unto the chief captain of the band that all Jerusalem was in an uproar, who immediately took soldiers and centurions and ran down unto them. And when they saw the chief captain and the soldiers, they left beating of Paul. Then the chief captain came near and took him and commanded him to be bound with 2 chains, and demanded who he was and what he had done. And some cried one thing and some another among the multitude. And when he could not know the certainty for the tumult, he commanded him to be carried into the castle. And when he came upon the stairs, so it was, that he was borne of the soldiers for the violence of the people. For the multitude of the people followed after, crying, Away with him! And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Art that now that Egyptian, which before these days maddest an uproar, and leddest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city of Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city. And I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. And when he had given him license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people. And when there was made a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew tongue, saying, and that's the end of the chapter. The chapter ends in the middle of a sentence. I don't think I've ever seen that in the Bible before, but that's.
And there's no follow-up?
No, in the next chapter,
In the
yes.
next
You
chapter,
have to tune in next week. But anyway, and I'm sure Paul gives a very good explanation of himself. But I wanted to focus today, on this particular Rima. That here Paul is he's gone into the temple, and he's taken some Gentiles in there with him. And to the Jews, this was a great sin, that he defiled the temple by taking some people in there who were, in their view, were not clean. And so they pull him out of the temple, and they're about to kill him, about to beat him to death, I guess. And so the Roman soldiers who were in control of Jerusalem heard about this, and so they want to keep the peace, right? They don't want anything going on that might challenge their rule. So they don't want anything to develop into a big riot or anything. So the Roman soldiers come out. They say, "What's going on here?" And the Jews said, "Well, he did that," and he says that some cried one thing, another one thing. So the Roman soldier commander couldn't understand what was going on. Anyway, just apparently this guy, he's apparently the center of the issue, and so we'll take him into the castle. So they take him away, and at first they thought he was some Egyptian rebel, I guess, who had led, he says, 4,000 men into the wilderness. But Paul starts speaking to him in Greek, and the Roman commander says, "What? You can speak Greek? I thought you were Egyptian." But he says, "No, I'm a Jew of Tarsus," and he doesn't say here that he's a Roman citizen, but although he is, and then so here, what's interesting to me is that the Jews were very threatened by the presence of Paul, and by the presence of the people that he had brought in. And I think it's because the Jews at that time could understand that even though this band of people, these Christians, were small numbers, very small in number, still spiritually the Christians were stronger than the Jews. And I think the Jews realized in their original mind and in their conscience that this was the case, and that's why they reacted so violently against Paul. And we see, today in the world that Islam is fighting Christianity. The left is fighting Christianity. Why would they be doing this? And even within Christianity, we see that the Unification Church or within the Sanctuary Church, people are fighting so strongly against groups that, especially the Sanctuary Church, is such a small group in comparison to the Family Federation. Such a small group with really not much funds, and yet people treat it as if it was a tremendous threat, and it is a threat. And they realize in their original minds that God is with the Sanctuary Church and God is with the Christianity, and I'm talking both here on the micro and the macro levels here at the same time, so that people feel that threat, and I think that is the explanation that we can have for this really strong opposition to Christianity on the macro and the sanctuary on the micro levels. Any thoughts about that,
Yeah,
Greg?
I think that's a good analogy. I think also Satan is trembling, knowing that his kingdom is coming to an end, centered on sanctuary and evangelical Christianity.
Right.
And I think this is a time where a lot of things are going to be shaken up, and people feel it.
And in the presidential election last year, those forces that were opposed to Christianity thought that they were in control, that they were in the driver's seat. And but the voters in America stood up and put Trump into office instead. Mm-hmm. Trump being a person who, he's not a holy man, all right? He's not a saint, and he's not a religious leader. He does not lead one might say, a religious life, but he is a person who defends Christianity. Mm-hmm. He's a person who defends Christianity. And we can see that he is a person who understands Christian Republican establishment, most of the media, what they call the mainstream media, and also, of course, most of Hollywood, Europe, and Western establishment is just fighting with everything they can against this man, Trump, because they see that he is challenging their he is challenging, like you said, Satan's kingdom, and he is breaking down Satan's kingdom, and they just cannot stand it. They cannot stand it. They cannot abide by it. So we see, this woman who was arrested recently for leaking security secrets to a left-wing press. Reality winner. I don't think we'll ever forget that name, will we? Her parents gave her a very easily memorable name, Reality Winner. 25-year-old young woman was arrested because in her mind, I think it was anything that went against Trump was okay. Anything to undermine the president was okay, even if it threatened the national security of the United States, because the important thing, the priority, is to advance the agenda of the establishment, and even at the sacrifice of U.S. sovereignty. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think Trump is uniquely qualified. He's not, he's not a saint, but he is because of his background in business and dealing with very Cain type realities. That's the kind of person you need right now to drain the swamp and to really bring about change. You don't need somebody who's from the establishment. I remember Cookton saying 3 or 4 years ago that somebody like George Washington needs
through his statements and through his tweets and so forth. But fundamentally, I believe that he is doing God's work, that he is taking the world in a more godly direction. Anyway, we'll start going through the news after we take a short break, and we'll start breaking down these situations one at a time. All right, we'll see you in just a minute or so as we continue this King's Report for Wednesday, June 7th.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
Welcome back to the King's Report for Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. We're in the 8th year of Cheongi. And Cheongi is the calendar that was declared by Father in 2010. And that's why we follow it here in the Sanctuary Church. I know Family Federation has adopted a new calendar, but that is a heretical calendar, and we follow Father's Orthodox calendar. And this is the 5th month and 13th day by the heavenly calendar. And of course, this is the month of Ramadan. And so we're seeing almost on a daily basis, terrorist attacks around the world. And I think last couple of days we've seen multiple attacks even on a single day. And we have a situation right now that's going on in Tehran, the capital of Iran. And we just got an updated story on this from Reuters a couple minutes ago, so I want to go through that with you. The headline is Attackers Raid Iran Parliament and Mausoleum, up to 7 dead, according to the Iranian media. Attackers raided Iran's parliament and set off a suicide bomb at the mausoleum of Ayatollah Khomeini in Tehran on Wednesday, killing up to 7 people in a twin assault at the heart of the Islamic Republic, Iranian media reported. The Iranian intelligence ministry said security forces had arrested a terrorist team, in quotes, planning a third attack without giving details. The Islamic State claimed responsibility for the attacks in a statement. If confirmed, they would be the first assault by the hardline Sunni Muslim group inside the Shiite Muslim country. The attacks targeting parliament and the shrine of the republic's revered founder, Ayatollah Khomeini, took place less than a month after the re-election of President Hassan Rouhani, a moderate. 3 assailants, one with a pistol and 2 with AK-47 assault rifles, attacked the parliament building in central Tehran. Lawmaker Elias Hazrati told state television. Iran's state broadcaster IRIB reported that the attacker detonated a suicide vest there, though some other news agencies said the explosion might have been caused by grenades thrown by the assailants. Tasman news agency said there were unconfirmed reports the attackers had taken 4 hostages inside the parliament building. Up to 7 people died and several others were wounded, it said. It added. So let's look at is my screen online now? We'll look at some of the photographs, and I hope you're seeing these. These are photographs that Reuters has sent in from the attacks there and ongoing situation there in Tehran. While someone's trying to escape through a window, I guess, and people are hanging around there. That's a policeman looking out of a building of the parliament. And people gathered there, and these police are kind of just hanging around with their helmets off. I'm not sure what they're doing. And this is the mausoleum. This photograph was taken on June 4th. So this was taken a few days ago prior to the attacks. That's what Khomeini's mausoleum looks like, and that's the parliament building that you're seeing there. So that is another terrorist attack that is developing. And recently, not just in the UK, of course, UK, we had the Manchester attack and then also the London Bridge attack, London Bridge and surrounding communities. There were multiple attacks. And then also in Canada, in Toronto, there was an attack. In France, there was an attack yesterday. Also, even, I think it was the day before yesterday, in Australia, there seems to have been something like that. So this is all happening because, we're in the month of Ramadan on the Islamic calendar. And the vast majority of Muslims, treat this as a month for fasting and prayer, even though that's not what Muhammad taught. But they say that because this is the 9th month in the Islamic calendar when Muhammad received his first revelations of the Quran, they celebrate that way. And actually they have, of course, big feasts after dark. But then you have these people, ISIS and others, who treat this as a month for, doing their Islamic duty of killing as many heretics as they can.
Activism.
Yes, infidels, actually, they call them infidels. Infidels for they are Sunnis. And so Iran is also, Shiites are also infidels or heretics. I'm not sure how exactly they categorize them, but are fair game. And so they go in. So also we had this breakup, or this where Arab countries, a number of Arab countries, 4 Arab countries have cut ties with Qatar, was that yesterday. And that's also a situation that's related to this Sunni Shiite split, because Qatar was siding with Iran, and so Saudi Arabia and other Sunni countries decided to cut ties with Qatar. So we see that happening as well. So it's interesting though that now this is happening within Islam. I wonder if this is going to develop further, whether this is going to be a major split in the Islamic world. That would be interesting to see if that happens.
Yeah, it's a religion of peace, but only if you are a Muslim, and apparently one step further, it depends on whether you're a Sunni or a Shiite.
It also depends on whether they are a minority in the country. Now, for example, that's not always the case. For example, in Indonesia, Muslims are the majority, a strong majority, a vast majority, but you don't hear a whole lot of things like this going on there. But certainly in the Middle East, where Islam originated and where the Quran was written, you see a lot of this violence going on. And then spreading into Europe now through the migration, the mass migration that's going on. This kind of violence is now spread into Europe. And European countries are, I guess, beginning to react against that. Brexit is one example, I think. You can see it in that way, where people are saying, the British people say, well, enough is enough. Like Theresa May said yesterday, enough is enough. And now she's saying that even if we have to change the human rights laws, we're going to crack down on this. Of course, she's saying this because she's got an election coming up tomorrow. She's a bit like the student who crams the day before an exam. Maybe too little, too late. I don't know.
Well, they have 23 confirmed jihadists living within the UK now. Used to be thought there was 3,000, but now they've bumped that to 23,000. Just a slight increase over their previous numbers.
And the people who caused this London Bridge attack, who perpetrated it, were actually known to police. They even appeared on television on a documentary called The Jihadi Next Door. And yet they let them just roam free until they started killing people, and 7 people are dead as a result. And I think others are critically injured. I'm not sure if the death toll has gone up and down or not, but others are critically injured. But because of this, progressivist, humanistic religion, that we are open-minded, and we accept people. But there is evil in the world, and unfortunately, Europe is finding this out the hard way. And there may still be time for Britain. Countries like Sweden, I don't think there is any more time. I think they've already, in my opinion, they're already past the point of no return. Sweden is going to become an Islamic country, an Islamic majority country, and it's just a matter of time. Britain may be, because of the Brexit vote, may have been able to make a turn for the better at the time, and may be able to avoid that kind of a fate. But certainly Sweden has already gone past that, and France, I don't know either. France may also an Islamic majority country. In Germany, because part of the problem, of course, is that countries like Germany have a declining birth rate. So in order to maintain their economy, they feel they have to import migrants, and the migrants that they're importing are from the Middle East, and a certain percentage of those migrants are terrorists who want to tear up the society. So, it's kind of they import people in order to maintain the economy, but the people they import are destroying the economy. So,
and will destroy tourism, destroy the very culture upon which Germany has been built.
And of course, Angela Merkel is being touted now as the leader of the free world by some progressives and leftists. Good luck with that. I hope it works out for you. I don't think it will.
The progressive left, actually, I was thinking, has now adopted jihadist principles.
Absolutely.
They have labeled all conservative Christians as infidels.
Yes.
And they're using the same tactics the jihadists use in terms of violence and intolerance toward conservative Christians.
But they don't, of course, infidel is a religious term, and they don't want to do that.
Right.
So instead, they use the word Nazi.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's how it works. All right, we're going to take a short break, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
And welcome back to the King's Report for Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. We're in the 8th year of Chungi, 5th month, and 13th day by the heavenly calendar. Let's talk about global warming, or the lack thereof. There's the top story on Breitbart this morning is that global warming is a myth, say 58 scientific papers in 2017. That's this year, wow. People are really busy writing, aren't they? Global warming is a myth, so say 80 graphs from 58 reviewed scientific papers. In other words, the so-called consensus, unquote, on global warming is a, and Donald Trump was quite right to quit the Paris Agreement, which pretended that the massive lie was true. By global warming, these papers don't, of course, mean the mild warming of around 0.8 degrees Celsius that the planet has experienced since the middle of the 19th century, as the world crawled out of the Little Ice Age. Pretty much everyone, alarmists and skeptics alike, is agreed on that. Rather, they mean global warming in the sense that is most commonly used today by grant-troughing scientists and huckster politicians and scaremongering green activists and brainwashed mainstream media environmental correspondents. Global warming as in the scary, historically unprecedented, primarily man-made phenomenon which we must address urgently before the ice caps melt and the Pacific Islands disappear beneath the waves and all the baby polar bears drown. Well, what all these papers argue in their different ways is that the alarmist version of global warming, aka catastrophic anthropogenic global warming, CAGW, is a fake artifact. That is, all these different experts from around the world, China, Russia, Canada, the U.S., Italy, etc., have been looking closely at different aspects of the global warming puzzle in various regions and on different timescales, and come to the conclusion in irreproachable, peer-reviewed scientific ways that there is no evidence to support the global warming scare story. Late 20th century and early 21st century global warming, they show, is neither dramatic nor unusual nor scary. Here, as collated by Kenneth Richard at No Tricks Zone, are just some of the charts to prove it. Bündgen et al. Shows below that the temperatures in the northern hemisphere were warmer in the early 1400s than they are today. And in this chart, you can see that if you look at the early 1400s, it's warmer, and then also at the end of the 20th century, also it was warm, and then it dipped quite a bit, and then now it's back up almost, but still below the early 15th century, as the early 1400s. It's still below that level. And here's another one. Abrantes et al. Below confirms the traditional view, which Michael Mann tried to dismiss with his discredited hockey stick chart, that the medieval warming period was warmer than anything we have experienced in our own era. So it was warmer back then. Here's one from Lee et al. Showing that China was much warmer 8,000 years ago. And this one actually starts, the present is given as 0, and as we go left on the axis, it goes 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, etc. To the highest point there was 8,000, about 8,000 years ago, 7,500 to 8,000 years ago. We see that it's quite a bit warmer than it is today. And actually, in eastern China, it looks like the temperature is close to the coldest it has ever been in the past 10,000 years. Close to it, not quite, but close to it. It's on the low end of the spectrum there. And here's an unusual one from Guillet et al. Suggesting that there's nothing new about wildly early or late grape harvests through the centuries in France. I guess it's natural that France would study global warming in terms of its effect on grapes. And we see that grapes have been harvested at different times during the year over the last centuries. This goes back to the middle of the 14th century. That's the middle of the 1300s. And we see that, there's a lot of variation, but there's no real, nothing really unusual is happening right now. And on it goes. There are 80 graphs in all, each show a different way why the scare about global warming it's being unusual problem. Several of the papers appears to be solar activity. Few, if any, entertain the notion that carbon dioxide levels have much to do with it. And remember that carbon dioxide, if we had no carbon dioxide, okay, carbon dioxide is bad, so let's get rid of carbon dioxide. What would happen if we got rid of carbon dioxide from the air? Well, the plants would die, and we would probably die too, I think. But the plants would die because plants need carbon dioxide, and they take in carbon dioxide and then put out oxygen, right?
You're saying one volcano eruption is like 10,000 times more than carbon produced by man.
Oh wow!
So it's just
Hey, then let's plug all the volcanoes.
like
The whole
Mother
planet
Nature.
explodes.
We're a very small part of the overall Mother Nature scheme.
We are. I mean, look at the landslide that occurred in California recently, where that highway was shut down, and that's just a very small act of nature. And yet it just completely destroyed something that man had made, and increased the land size of California by something like 13 acres or something like that. Nature is a huge, huge, powerful force. And, I think we tend to exaggerate our own importance in terms of, not in terms of our value, but in terms of our ability to destroy nature.
Yeah. Well, I think I think it's common sense to realize that we do have an effect on our environment through pollution. We do pollute lakes, we do pollute cities, and it does create asthma. Our impact on nature is undeniable. My biggest problem is, okay, how do we go about solving the problem? I think when you give problem solving over to a huge bureaucratic entity like the UN, that doesn't mean it's going to be solved. That just means it's going to be run very inefficiently, and it's going to create further taxation. It's the same argument that I have toward the federal government, and why the federal government is not the best solution for solving poverty, for solving pollution. I think the King brought up a good point that New York City Park, Central Park in particular, is much better managed now that it's in
By
a
the
private
Central Park Conservancy, yes.
exactly, through a nonprofit, privately run enterprise, rather than the city or government taking control of it, which never turns out well. So why do we think the UN would do such a fabulous job in terms of cleaning up the environment? Aren't they the ones that are responsible for child sex trafficking and other atrocities around the world? The UN is not this pristine hierarchical organization doing good in the world necessarily.
Yeah, so here we're talking about big picture and maybe small picture, where certainly on the local level pollution does occur. As we see in Beijing, for example, where people have to wear masks because the air is so polluted, and you can hardly see. And this pollution affects not only Beijing but also blows across to the Korean Peninsula and affects
The yellow dust.
The yellow dust affects people there as well. But interestingly, under the Paris Climate Agreement, Beijing is not required to reduce its carbon emissions at all, at least until 2030. Even though it has twice as much emissions as the United States does now. And yet somehow this religion of the global warming people is that the United States is the biggest polluter in the world, which it is not. I don't know who the biggest one is, but Beijing emits twice as much carbon as the United States. So, so one point here is human activity causing this global warming to a significant degree? And these graphs and these reports that have come out recently prove no. Well, they certainly give a very strong argument that that's not the case. And to me, it's a very believable argument, and one that would certainly undermine the political ideology, the political religion, the state religion, one might almost say, of global warming. And so this proves that, this does show that at least Trump was justified and did the right thing in pulling the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Now, some local governments have said that we're going to go ahead and do what we're doing anyway. We're going to follow the Paris Climate Agreement anyway. Okay, that's a matter of local sovereignty, and we'll see how that works out for them. Whether they will be able to maintain their job market or their economies. If so, fine. If not, then localities that choose not to follow these Paris Agreement requirements may have more jobs and better economy, and people may move from one to the other. So we'll see how that works out. That's all a matter of local sovereignty, and that's okay. Some people are going to fail, and then some localities will fail, and we'll learn our lessons from that. So I think it's okay for local companies or areas to decide on their own to follow this agreement. That's a matter for the local electorate to decide, I think. Anyway, let's take a break right now, and we'll be back in a minute or so with more on this and other news.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
Welcome back to the King's Report for Wednesday, June 7th, 2017, 8th year of Chungi, 5th month, 13th day by the heavenly calendar. An update on that story coming out of Tehran. It's breaking right now. And previously we told you that up to 7 people had been killed, but Reuters is giving us a new alert that at least 12 people are dead now in the Tehran attacks. Iranian official tells IRIB. So that situation is still ongoing. I'm not sure what is going on there, but it appears that the Sunni Islamic State, Sunni ISIS, is staging its first terror attack in Shiite Iran, in the heart of that capital, with attacks going on at the parliament in Tehran and also at the mausoleum for Ayatollah Khomeini. So we will update you on that as things continue to unfold there this morning. So we're talking right now about global warming, and I'm here with Greg Knoll, and we're talking about global warming. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to what you've already said?
No, I think according to the Cheongguk Constitution, local governments can handle polluters much better than a large federal
Yes.
bureaucracy.
Yes, the Cheongguk Constitution in Principle 3, Article 3, has a provision that the Congress may not establish an environmental protection agency. So there's no federal control, no federal sort of control over the environment's local places. And so this means that it's up to the states and the local areas to manage their own environments, yes. And this is part of the whole philosophy of the Cheongguk Constitution to take sovereignty down to the local level as much as possible. The Cheongguk Constitution is the Cheongguk is a kingdom of kings, meaning that sovereignty is pushed down to the family level. And also then the local governments also have a much greater sovereignty than they do under any constitution now, including the Constitution of the USA. And certainly environment is part of that. And the reason for that is that whenever you concentrate power, like Lord Acton said, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So this means that whenever you have a concentration of power, you will have corruption. That follows logically from Lord Acton's statement. Whenever you have a concentration of power, you will have corruption. And you will have corruption to the extent that power is concentrated. And so when you have a power concentrated in international organizations such as the European Union or in the United Nations or other international organizations that are supranational and demand that countries give up some of their sovereignty to these international organizations, there's going to be corruption at that level. Mm-hmm. And that's what we have today. And so we have this political religion that's going on now of global warming, climate change, and that the United States needs to cut back on its economic activity so as to save the earth. And so U.S. sovereignty is being sacrificed, and the jobs of ordinary Americans are being sacrificed for something that we see now is turning out to be a lie in the first case, in the lie. So that's why you can't have environmental protection done at that national level or even at a worldwide level. It's much better handled at the local level. And different localities will pursue different policies. Some will do good, some will do poorly, and those that do well will be a lesson to others. Also, those that do poorly will also serve as a lesson for what not to do to other places. For example, Beijing today is failing in its ability to protect the environment for its citizens. People have to wear masks, and on bad days. And although Beijing has put out a propaganda video saying that that's not true, but many people find that it is true. So, according to Zuckerberg, I guess, when he went there, he actually went on a jogging trip in Tiananmen Square in order to prove that Beijing air was clean as a part of his effort to suck up to the Chinese Communist Party leadership. But the pollution there is terrible. There was a Chinese student who recently graduated from a university in Maryland. I don't know if it was the U of M or if it was another school in Maryland, but she gave this speech at the graduation. And she talked about how it was so nice to come to America and be able to breathe. And she came under huge attack by her fellow Chinese. Not that they were denying what she was saying,
But that she would say it.
but that she would say it and embarrass their country. So, but so obviously China and Beijing is failing to protect its
And that's an
environment.
economy that is controlled by the government. So
Yes.
government is the largest polluter in the world.
Yes.
So to think that government can solve pollution is really kind of a contradiction.
Yes. Yes, it is. Especially China, where most well, they have a private property now, I guess, because they've adopted a capitalist economic system. But even they don't have private property in the sense that we think of private property, though. I don't think you can actually own land there. I think it's still you have to lease it from the government for 50 years or something like that. So yeah, state-owned enterprises pollute. And I remember flying over northeastern China, going from because these days, when a plane goes from JFK in New York to Seoul in Korea, it actually does not ever go over the Pacific. It makes a beeline to the northern coast of Alaska. It goes over into Russian airspace, then it comes down into northeast China, and then the plane goes into the Yellow Sea west of the Korean Peninsula, and then makes a 90-degree turn into South Korea so as to avoid North Korean airspace. So the plane trip takes you over northeast China. And on a clear day, you can look down, and on a clear day in the winter especially, you can look down and it's white, with snow. As you're coming down eastern Siberia, it's white, until you get to northeast China, and you see these villages, and the villages are black, with sort of and the blackness sort of becomes gradually white as you get further and further from the village, because they're burning coal. You see, and it is it's amazing to see that, because you see these population centers, these small population centers that are small towns and villages that are just black spots in the white field of snow around. Yeah. I could see very well how they have an interesting problem with pollution there on their land. And China is certainly has to be one of the, if not the biggest polluter in the world today. These climate change religionists say that it's the United States, but it is not the United States. And the United States, for many reasons, partly because of consumer demand, and partly because of the operation of the free market, is cutting down on emissions. And even after pulling out of the Paris Agreement, the United States is going to cut down on its carbon emissions. And that's if that's the operation of the free market, then so be it. That's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. That's just, but that's not. We're not doing it because the UN has told us to, or ordered us to, in a agreement that was never submitted by former President Obama to the Senate for ratification, but it was just sort of enacted by kind of executive power. But if local areas want to follow that anyway, sure, go ahead. But meanwhile, here in Pennsylvania, the coal industry is going to come back. Yeah, I don't know to what extent, but it'll come back.
Yeah, we can learn from history. We don't have to follow the same mistakes as the past. We can have what they call clean coal, and it's a valuable resource that we have. And if it's done properly, and again demanded by the people, not by government, then the companies will respond.
Yeah. So different people will do different things. Some will succeed, some will fail, and we can learn from those experiences. And that's how humanity advances. Every time I get in my car, I look at my seatbelt. I use my seatbelt every time I get in the car. But, the seatbelt in every car is the same in America, at least in America. I think probably other countries too. Reason is because this particular seatbelt, this particular design, is mandated by the government. So there's no opportunity for improvement, because no one is allowed to try anything different. If you try something different, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But no one is allowed to try. It has to be this seatbelt, this particular seatbelt. It is mandated by law. And the evolution of seatbelts has stopped.
Meanwhile, you can ride a motorcycle with no seatbelt and no helmet.
Well, some localities I think require helmets. I think quite a few do.
But Pennsylvania doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Doesn't? Okay. I don't ride a motorcycle, so I wasn't aware of that. Okay. So anyway, yes, freedom is best, and freedom means that we have a chance to succeed, we have a chance to fail.
Yeah.
And we may fail more often than we succeed. But overall, we will advance through failures and through successes. we will advance overall. That's the idea. And that's the idea of the free market. And that's the idea of also of this global warming.
To think of giving
situation.
away freedom to somebody else is
Yeah.
insanity.
Inalienable rights.
Right.
Inalienable.
Especially bureaucrats who are motivated by greed and profit.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back with more news from a Chundy Group perspective.
At break of day, in hope we rise. We speak your name.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
At break of day, in hope we rise. We speak your name.
Welcome back to the King's Report for Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. I was just looking at this updated article on the terrorist attack in Tehran. It looks like it has ended now, so let's go through this. So ISIS is claiming responsibility now for these attacks, a pair of attacks that occurred in Tehran, one in the Parliament building and one at the mausoleum of Ayatollah Khomeini. 12 people are dead at least, and dozens of others are injured. And of course, it's the first time that the ISIS, which I guess is a Sunni thing, is attacked inside this Shiite country. And Fox News, I'm going through this article in Fox News right now, says that in a rare and stunning move, ISIS released video from inside the Parliament building while the attack was underway. So I guess basically they proved that they were behind, or at least in communication with the attackers. And a Parliament assault ended Wednesday morning with all 4 attackers being killed. I don't know if the mausoleum attack has also ended. One of the terrorists blew himself up inside the Parliament building where a session had been in progress. An Associated Press reporter saw several police snipers on the rooftops of buildings around the Parliament. Shops in the area were shuttered and gunfire could be heard. Witnesses said the attackers were shooting from the 4th floor of the Parliament building down at people in the streets below. I was passing by one of the streets. I thought that children were playing with fireworks, but I realized people are hiding and lying down on the streets, one person said. With the help of a taxi driver, I reached a nearby alley. Police helicopters circled over the Parliament building, and all mobile phone lines from inside were disconnected. The semi-official ISNA news agency said all entrances and exit gates at the Parliament were closed and that lawmakers and reporters were ordered to remain in place inside the chamber. Thank you very much.
That's safe.
That's safe. What could go wrong? State TV, of course, they don't have the ability to defend themselves either. I'm sure they don't have any guns with them. State TV reported 4 attackers were involved in the Parliament attack. Iran's official state broadcaster said a security guard was killed and 4 people wounded in the shrine attack. It said one of the attackers at the shrine was killed by security guards and that a woman was arrested, and described the shrine attackers as terrorists, and said one carried out a suicide bombing without affirming further details. So I guess that attack has also ended. In addition to being lethal, the attack on the shrine of Khomeini is symbolically stunning at Iran's first supreme leader. Khomeini is a towering figure in the country and was its revolutionary leader in the 1979 ouster of the Shah. So, wow, this is, I guess, what happens from this will be very interesting. This is Sunni versus Shia now. And yesterday we had that situation where Saudi Arabia and I think 3 other countries broke relations with Qatar, saying that Qatar was aligning itself with Iran. And so that was also, sounds like a Sunni Shia thing.
Kind of a polarization happening in the Middle East.
Right. So maybe now we'll have to see whether what's ISIS doing. They were attacking in Europe, and now this. But this is different, I think, because in Europe, in the UK attacks, that was basically UK citizens, or we've had attacks also in Canada and France and so forth. But so people who sometimes were citizens of that country went to Libya or to Iraq and sort of got some training, and then went back and caused these. But this appears to be something that ISIS actually planned, maybe more. I get the impression it's more centrally planned than these situations in the UK or France or
Right, like sleeper cells. So the Wahhabism of Saudi Arabia, that's funding Sunni terrorism. And the United States is, basically supporting Saudi Arabia
Right.
through an arms deal.
including President Trump. Yes, and
Yeah.
President Trump also promised, what was it, $110 billion or something like that?
Huge amount of arms going into Saudi Arabia. This is, to me, very alarming.
Because on the other hand, you have Iran, which is working with in hand with North Korea on developing its nuclear capability.
Right.
And Iran wants to take out Israel, and they may soon get that ability, and Israel is not going to stand for that. So there are many aspects to this equation, aren't there?
My point is that by supporting Sunni in Saudi Arabia, which is funding 80-90% of the mosque, which promotes radical Wahhabism, that doesn't seem like a smart move from God's perspective to be supporting radical Islam. And Saudi Arabia is largely funding that effort around the world. So I don't quite understand that, why the United States is aligning itself with such at the root of terror. I don't get that from God's perspective and President Trump's signing of this deal.
And Saudi Arabia could be behind this terrorist attack now in
Right.
Tehran, couldn't it?
Yeah.
And we don't know yet. We'll have to see what information comes out over the next few days.
Well, you could say that Saudi Arabia is behind most terrorist attack around
Well, this
the
is a
world.
Sunni attack, so that's
Yeah.
why I'm saying that we know that Saudi Arabia feels threatened by Iran, that's been the case for many years, and so this could be something that is either orchestrated or encouraged or funded, as you say, by Saudi Arabia.
I wonder what the breakdown is. Like the Manchester bombing, for example, was that a Sunni branch of Islam?
ISIS, well, yeah, because ISIS took responsibility for it.
Okay, so
yeah.
ISIS is definitely a Sunni
Yeah, right.
a Sunni
so it's
branch.
Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
So it is a Sunni
so
thing, yeah.
in one sense, anytime there's a terrorist attack that's by ISIS, we're fundamentally supporting with our military dollars.
But there's a centralized aspect to this and a decentralized aspect to it, because ISIS has, at the beginning of Ramadan, which was 13 days ago, they put out a statement saying, okay, we want everybody to attack and kill as many infidels as you can. So any time that an incident occurs, of course, ISIS takes responsibility. But my point is that not every attack is planned centrally by ISIS. Rather, it's kind of they put out the word and say, okay, now's the time. We've given you the skills, and
Right.
so now we want you to do it during this month of Ramadan, and people do it on their own. Whereas this, to me, appears to be more centrally planned.
Yeah.
More like because this is the first time that ISIS has targeted Tehran, a Shiite stronghold, basically the center of the Shiite Islam, I think, now in the world. So this was a very bold move, especially broadcasting a video from inside the parliament as the terrorist incident is going on. Wow, so this really is a kind of a declaration of war against Iran, I would say, by ISIS. And maybe, you know, that ISIS isn't doing so well right now in Syria and in Iraq. I think the U.S. forces and other people fighting them are kind of are making a lot of progress there. So maybe now they've decided to switch the battleground to Iran. I don't know.
Now, Iran has a huge majority of Shiites, right? I don't know what the percentage
Yeah.
is,
Mhm.
but
Yes,
I think
yes.
it would be a
Yeah.
pretty difficult war
Yes.
to wage, whereas Syria, I think, is there's a more diversity there.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they have some kind of strategy in mind. We'll have to see. But obviously, they had something in mind when they staged this attack. As I really think that this is not just some sleeper cell, or not just a. So I see that difference because, you know, UK is a very vulnerable society, you could say.
Right.
France, Canada, these are very vulnerable societies. Christian societies are with multiculturalism. Iran is not a hotbed of multiculturalism. So to really, from the Sunni point of view, to stage this attack in the lion's den, as a matter of fact, in the heart of their enemy, is a pretty bold thing. And we'll see now how Iran responds.
So I guess from a Sunni's point of view, Shiites are infidels.
Yeah, or I don't know if they call them heretics or infidels, but anyway, they're bad people. So they're targets. They're acceptable targets for killing, yes. So now what is Iran going to do? If this is funded by Saudi Arabia and they know it, what is Iran going to do?
Yeah.
Are they going to shift their missiles a little bit to the southwest, away from Israel and towards Saudi Arabia? I don't know. But it looks like kind of a Pandora's box has been opened here, and we don't know what's going to come out. Yeah, this could develop into something pretty serious. I don't know. We'll have to see how this over the next days and weeks. I don't think we've heard the last of this. Pretty much, attacking the mausoleum of Khomeini. I don't
In
think
the
we've heard the
parliament,
last of this.
That's pretty big.
Yeah,
Breach
Khomeini.
of security there.
Yeah, breach of security, and I don't think that Iran is going to. So basically, it's two gangs. It's the two branches of the mafia
Warring for turf.
warring for turf. Yeah, it's a mafia war basically, and hope that civilians don't get killed. But unfortunately,
They
I think.
always do.
Well, yeah, especially because the world is under judgment now because of the failure of the Han Mother. Yes, we know that the world is going through a period of judgment, which we have about 5 years at least still remaining. But I have to see how this develops. But I have a very, very bad feeling about this. I don't think it's going to be just a one-time thing. It's not a one-time thing where you would just kill the terrorist and it's over until the next time. I think this is going to require a response by Iran, potentially against Saudi Arabia. So we'll continue to update you on this during this broadcast and during a future broadcasts to
So
see
through
what
Obama,
happens.
we supported Iran with weapons and billions of dollars, and now through Trump, we're supporting Saudi Arabia with weapons and dollars.
Hey, that's democracy. For 4 years you support this guy, the next 4 years you
Right.
support this guy.
You fund both sides.
You fund both sides. Oh my, the world we live in.
Troubled times.
Yes. All right. We're going to take a break now, and we'll be back in a minute or so with more news from a Chunuguk perspective.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. to the best in compact concealed carry. Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
And welcome back to the King's Report for Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. We're going through the headlines in this segment. This is Tim Elder. I'm sitting in for the second king of Cheongguk, Hyungjin Moon. And here on Breitbart, it says, after Paris exit, America needs a strategy for fossil fuel-based jobs and growth. That's by James Pinkerton. That's good. ABC's Carl, sources say Sessions was more than willing to resign. So there's some friction between Donald Trump and his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. Trump apparently is especially angry or perturbed, disturbed that Sessions recused himself from situations dealing with Russia. Anyway, they've had some conversations. DHS John Kelly rejects H-2B program, reveals drug refugee priorities. New York Governor Cuomo to Trump, you want to deport immigrants, start with me. No, actually, that's a ridiculous thing because, Trump wants to deport illegal immigrants.
Exactly.
Cuomo is not an illegal immigrant.
No, but he would be a good person to deport.
He would be a good person to deport. But I mean, let's get
The
real,
statement
right?
is stupid. Yeah.
The statement is stupid. It's ridiculous. Unless Cuomo is going to confess that he came in across the Mexican border, or that his father did, and brought him in as a child. Anyway, it's a ridiculous statement. 5 things fired FBI Director James Comey will be asked. Hearings are being held tomorrow, and apparently CNN has called it the Super Bowl of politics. And inside the Beltway, in other words, inside in the Washington area, that's true. Apparently, bars are opening early so that people can come in. They can come. Bureaucrats can play hooky.
Other people are not very interested.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah, but CNN is calling it the Super Bowl of politics.
They're trying to drum something up.
Jerry Seinfeld, I used to like him, but now he says, I don't get the big deal about Kathy Griffin photo, just a bad joke. Oh, Jerry, not going to watch your reruns anymore. But let's separate. I always separate celebrities from their acting or their. All right, Jerry Seinfeld. All right, I enjoyed his program a lot. I'll confess. But sometimes, just because they're stupid doesn't mean they're a bad comic. Kathy Griffin, she did something that was, she threatened the life of the President of the United States. Mm-hmm. All right, Secret Service is investigating her. And when Obama was president and someone criticized Obama, Kathy Griffin said, you shouldn't do that. You should respect the office. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Respect the office, Kathy. And Jerry. Crazy. Anyway, you don't have to be apparently you don't have to be smart in order to be a comic. You can be pretty stupid and still be a comic. Anyway, move on. Spicer on Trump's trip to the UK. He appreciates Her Majesty's gracious invitation. Of course, this is referring to the mayor of London saying that he doesn't want Trump to step
foot. He's going to put a travel ban on Trump?
Yes, putting a travel ban on Trump, yes.
Land in
building a wall. Building a wall around his city. Putting a travel ban on Trump. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. And Trump jokes that he's upset that Jared Kushner more famous than me. I'm glad he's joking about it. Turkey's Erdogan intentionally Islamicizing Europe. Well, somebody certainly is. Imam at Virginia Mosque, partial FGM. That, you know what FGM stands for? Female genital mutilation. Helps prevent hypersexuality in women. I'm just really appalled that this is happening in the United States. Female genital mutilation. It's where they, well, go to the World Health Organization site, all right, and see it there. It's just too it just makes me shudder to even think of it. Absolutely. It's not. Moving on. Go to the WHO site and you'll see Trump stabbed to death. Trump, in quotes, stabbed to death in Central Park performance of Julius Caesar. Hello, Secret Service. There's another thing for you to investigate. I mean, come on.
This is the new art expression.
Right. Anything anti-Trump.
Anything goes.
It goes, yeah. This is another Kathy Griffin. Come on, you guys. Secret Service, hire more people, investigate these people, arrest them. Previously deported illegal alien convicted of raping 15-year-old. There you go. Yeah. Build that wall. Bill Cosby accuser takes stand in sex assault trial. I wasn't able to fight. Oh, Cosby. There's another guy that we can't watch anymore, isn't there? Total vetting failed. Snowden fangirl gets access to NSA secrets. Yeah, how did this lady, this 25-year-old, whose name I'm sure we can never forget, Reality Winner, that's her name, Reality Winner, let's go through this article. Left-wing Snowden fangirl Reality Winner gets access to our NSA secrets. The news reads like something out of a screwball comedy. A far-left activist named Reality Lay Winner.
Well, she was hired during the Obama administration, I would imagine.
Yeah, because she's 25, so she must have been, yeah. She couldn't have been hired before that. When Obama became president, she was only 17. Reality Lay Winner somehow received clearance to work for the National Security Agency, which she allegedly proceeded to rob of classified material. And she was also in the Air Force, I think. We'll have to go through this. But I think, yeah, she was in the Air Force as well. And that's how she got her security clearance. Robbed of classified material in the name of the Kookburger anti-Trump resistance. In the post-Edward Snowden era, how does someone like this get anywhere near sensitive data? Speaking of Snowden, Ms. Winner is a huge fan of his. He was one of only 50 accounts she followed on Twitter, along with WikiLeaks, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif, and the Anonymous Hacker Collective. Her own Twitter posts were filled with foaming-at-the-mouth anti-Trump tirades such as, "Why burn a flag? Donald Trump thinks crosses burn much better." She was also a supporter of climate change hysteria and the Black Lives Matter radical movement. Her last tweet from February was advice for rapper Kanye West to make a shirt that says, "Being white is terrorism." So you got to wonder, how many more of these kooks do we have in the bureaucracy?
I should imagine it's a vast majority.
Yeah.
Under Obama.
And it's no wonder that Obama, that Trump is having such a hard time. Like you say, I think she must have been hired under Obama. She didn't just follow the Iranian foreign minister. She tweeted at him, "There are many Americans protesting U.S. government aggression towards Iran. If our tangerine in chief declares war, we stand with you," she gushed to Zarif. Wow. An employee she was actually, I think, not an employee of the NSA, but I think she was an employee of a civilian contractor who was working with the NSA, but still had the security clearance. Yeah, we need to do an investigate. Congress should investigate that. Cancel this Comey thing and investigate this.
That's a traitorous act.
Yeah, these are actual, sleeper cells in our bureaucrat. Bring back Joseph McCarthy. I don't want to go that far, but yeah, we need to really find out who's working for us. Who are these so-called public servants?
That's part of draining the swamp.
We're paying these people salaries. We paid the salary for Reality Winner, this loser. On a positive note, this Tuesday, when we become the United States of the Russian Federation, Olympic lifting will be the national support, she sneered in advance of the 2016 election. So she knew that Trump was going to win. Sounds like. When we become the United States of Russian Federation, she's tweeting in advance of the 2016 election. So I guess as an NSA member, she knew that Trump was going to win. The totality of the Reality Winner experience reads like a joke. put together for a presentation by board NSA staffers about the sort of person that should never, ever be given a security clearance. It's as though a far-left blog downloaded itself into a human brain and chose a name by reading its own comment section. How many more people like this do we have? And why isn't anyone investigating that? Is the NSA investigating? Well, the investigators should be investigated, I guess. Who investigates the NSA?
Yeah.
You know?
Who did the screening? They should be called out on this.
My. Well, we don't want to get too bogged down in reality winners, reality story.
What about the Sessions story? That's an interesting development.
Well, Session, really, because that's just basically, Session and Trump having a little spat. Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Nothing
Well,
serious about that because we certainly don't want to lose Sessions.
no, we don't. And I think Trump is just smart enough not to.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to see. But I think Trump is a kind of PO'd at him for
Mm-hmm.
taking himself out of the Russia situation. It's a clash of egos, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to. I hope it doesn't lead to anything serious. But if it does, if it blows up, we'll pick up the pieces and analyze it then. Here we go. Coulter calls on Trump to impose temporary ban on all immigration.
Well, isn't that a big story that May was a record-breaking month for Muslim refugees coming into the country?
That's an interesting one, yeah. No, and that may be a deep swamp thing. Get as many people in before the travel ban. The Supreme Court approves the travel ban.
I see.
Because now
Yeah,
the Supreme Court is calling for
I can
arguments.
see letting in persecuted Christians from Syria.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing.
Yeah. Let's see what Coulter is saying. Monday on Fox Business Network's Varney and Company, a conservative commentator Ann Coulter, author of In Trump We Trust, E Pluribus Awesome, suggested rather than impose a ban on people from certain countries, President Donald Trump should enact a temporary ban on all immigration to the United States. That would be pretty drastic.
Yeah, I don't see the point in that.
Yeah. Coulter said if everyone were banned, that would eliminate the religious aspects that are preventing Trump from enacting his policy on immigration. I mean, quotes here, what Trump, for example, suggested in his immigration policy paper, the greatest document since the Magna Carta. And, come on, was a temporary ban on all immigration, Coulter said. Oh, boy. You have no religious problem then. Why doesn't he go back to that? If it's both more aggressive, be very careful, let in a few a year. We're letting in 2 million people a year, illegal, legal guest workers, probably more than 2 million. And the New York Times writes, well, it's just impossible to vet that many people coming in. Well, don't let in that many people. Then it's not that hard. As for the detention, I would say, yes, there are ways to be aggressive, she continued. I think in some ways I'd be more aggressive, but I don't think it would raise as many hackles because it looks nothing like an internment. I mean, Europe has an easier time than we do. They don't have a First Amendment. In Germany, it's a crime to support the Nazi Party. Are you worried about the Nazis today? No, but we are worried about ISIS. We are worried about Islamic terrorism. It ought to be a crime, not merely to communicate, but to advocate that ideology, and they ought to be thrown out of the country. Okay, Ann, thank you. Let's move on. Oh, boy. Magna Carta. Texas leads 16-state coalition in support of travel ban. Yeah. There we go.
Who's on that list?
Let's see.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's on that list.
Leading a 16, we don't have much time here, so let's, here we go. Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Kansas, Louisiana, Montana, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, oops, we already passed the P's, West Virginia, and Mississippi.
We have a very liberal governor, so
Yeah, have joined the state of, we hope to do something about that next year, I think.
that's right.
Yeah. Have joined the state of Texas in filing the friend of the court brief in the United States Supreme Court. Okay, so they filed an amicus curiae for the Trump travel ban. And here is what they say in that document. The district court's injunction of the president's temporary suspension of entry for specified classes of non-resident aliens is remarkable. The injunction was issued despite three long-standing doctrines limiting the availability of judicial remedies for disagreement with policy decisions like the executive order here. First, the Constitution does not apply extraterritoriality to non-resident aliens abroad seeking entry. Yeah, in other words, it's we the people, all right? It's not we the people and everybody else in the world that is protected by the Constitution. It's we the people,
Yeah.
all right?
Sovereign people.
It's all right. So a person coming into the United States does not enjoy rights under the United States Constitution. All right. So this is an important doctrine that the Supreme Court has established for a long time. So, and this court has specifically recognized that there is no, quote, judicial remedy, unquote, to override the executive's use of its delegated power to deny classes of non-resident aliens into this country. Yeah. So the President of the United States, whether it's Barack Obama, whether it's Saint Obama, or Trump, or JFK, or Johnson, or anybody else in the future, Ann Coulter, or whoever becomes president in the future, think of that, has the right to deny any class of people. Says, I don't want this class of people to come in. Then they don't come in. All right? This is one of the powers.
We've done it before.
We've done
under
it before.
Wartime.
Yeah. Yes,
And
we have.
we are in war with ISIS.
Right. And
So what is the big
and
problem?
not just in wartime. I don't have the time right now to pull it up, but past presidents, recent presidents, in the in our memory, have done this. But because it's Trump, because it's Trump, the left is just out to get this pure evil Trump who defeated Saint Hillary. And so they're just out to undermine him in any way, even if it destroys the country. They don't care. They'll burn down the building if they have to in order to destroy this one man. Second, the order must be accorded the strongest of presumptions and the widest latitude of judicial interpretation, unquote, because it is in the U.S. Supreme Court opinion of Youngstown's first zone of executive action pursuant to congressionally delegated power. Third, the court has long accorded facially neutral government actions a presumption of validity and good faith, so those actions can be invalidated under a discriminatory purpose analysis only if there is the clearest proof of pretext. This long-standing enacting standard of judicial scrutiny of government motives has been recognized by this court in multiple types of constitutional challenges. This limit respects institutional roles by precluding courts from engaging in tenuous judicial psychoanalysis of a drafter's heart of hearts. Yeah, the judges don't get to psychoanalyze Trump.
Seems like
This is the 16-state coalition submitting a document to the Supreme Court supporting Trump's travel ban and saying that the
now it's going to the
district
Supreme
court.
Court right about now.
It's in the Supreme Court now. The court has agreed to hear it, and they've actually given it a what do you call it? A fast track. Expedited. So they put it on fast track, and so I think that, as I recall, they have told the government, both sides, to present arguments. I think within the next week or so. And we don't know when they're going to rule, but it looks like they're in a hurry to get this ruling out. So that to me, the fact that they're fast tracking it to me is a good sign. And so now this 16-state coalition has come together to support that. Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Kansas, Louisiana, Montana, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, West Virginia, and Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant. I'm not sure why he's there as an individual, but anyway, he's there as an individual.
Well, I think you're right.
And
I think
Texas,
This,
yeah.
I think this record-breaking month of May for immigration is in response to getting in before the deadline.
Yeah. I think people know that the Supreme Court
Yeah.
is going to finally put some adult supervision in the judicial process
Yes.
and come in and tell the
So
Ninth Circuit.
America's a little less safe today than it was in April.
Yes, it is a little less safe today than it was in April. Yes, it is. And especially during this month of Ramadan, it's the 13th day, so we still have a couple of weeks of a Ramadan remaining. And, I've been telling people, stay away from crowds, all right? That wasn't including the Tehran Parliament building. I guess I didn't cover that. But, stay away from crowds, And I really felt that Ariana Grande scheduling a second concert in Manchester was irresponsible. Fortunately, nothing happened there, but I think that kind of thing is irresponsible. We're in a war, and people say that, we can't change our behavior because that will let the terrorists win. No, in wartime we change our behavior. Everyone has to make sacrifices, and the way to win is you don't get yourself killed. You know, what's that opening line in that movie Patton, where he stands at the very opening in front of the American flag, and he says that I don't want you to die for your country. I want you to make the other SOBs die for their country. He didn't abbreviate the SOB. But anyway, the way you defeat terrorists is you don't get yourself killed. They're trying to run out the body count. Don't be a part of their body count, all right? So let's stay safe through this month and also through the remaining period of this judgment that we are going through because of the failure of the Han Mother. So this is a judgment that we have to go through, but let's make it as painless as possible, and let's keep the sacrifices, the victims to a minimum. So in order to do that, let's be aware of what's going on, and let's develop the ability to defend ourselves, live in areas that allow you to defend yourself, allow you to carry the weapons to defend yourself and your family, and also develop your sovereignty. Developing sovereignty means to have assets and territory that you are able to protect. So that's what we need to do during this time of judgment. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. This brings us to the end of our broadcast for today. The King will be giving the Korean service later today, and then he'll be back on the King's Report tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. So please join him then. Thank you very much. God bless, Godspeed, and may His kingdom come.
Jew.
At break of day, in hope we rise. We speak your name.
To the